Hey everybody, this is Carl from Carl's Opinion, and we are live on our Thursday night show. So this is our live call-in show. We have a lot of news to get to tonight, as you saw from the headline if you were watching just before we cut in. We got good news and then the bad news, and I put the headline for the bad news up first, with the ICE releasing 1,000 immigrant family members per day. So I just want to welcome everybody aboard, those who have been viewing until now and those who will be viewing later. So let's see. We'll go ahead and get to it here, and let's start with our first story. And let's get me over here. Alrighty. All right. First story up. ICE releasing 1,000 illegal immigrant families per day. Border surge forces drop in ICE arrests as officers deployed to catch and release. That's not good news. So let's find out why, what's going on here. This, again, according to the Washington Times. Thank you, Washington Times. By Stephen Dinan, who's been covering mostly immigration stories for the Washington Times. Deportation officers are cutting loose more than 1,000 illegal immigrant family members a day, setting them free in two border states as the surge of migrations overwhelms the government's ability to handle them, officials revealed Thursday. This is all part of the Democrats' plan. This is all part of them telling them, hey, make for the border and overwhelm Border Patrol, and then, of course, overwhelm ICE as far as being able to hold them, or to overwhelm the detention facilities, that they don't have enough detention facilities, and God forbid they're in less than, complete, Westin Bonaventure hotel-style accommodations. Actually costs for each unaccompanied minor, costs about $700 per night to house them. You can get a really great suite at the Westin Bonaventure for $700. You can get like a junior suite for that, $700 a night, and a 5-star hotel anywhere in the United States for $700 per night. Anyway, over the last 3 months, about 107,000 family members were caught at the border and then released with ankle monitoring devices. Ankle monitoring devices or check-in schedules, and the often vain hope that they will show up for the court hearings and deportation. And the thing with the ankle monitoring devices, they cut them off. I mean, they go into their communities and they show them how to cut these things off, and they cut them off. And unlike someone who's on bail and is wearing an ankle monitor, or someone who's on parole or probation who's wearing an ankle monitor, I mean, they go get them pretty quick. Well, they just don't have the manpower, to go find these guys and go pick them up. They just don't. They don't have the manpower to make these kind of arrests, and these people know that. So they say, yeah, put on the ankle monitor for me, no problem. And normally, if you're on bail, you have to pay for that ankle monitor yourself. Say you say, hey, put me on house arrest. I want to be out on bail. I want to be on house arrest. You have to pay for that ankle monitor device yourself. You would say, well, I can't afford it. Well, then you can sit in jail. Well, okay, I'll find the money. Illegal aliens don't have to pay for the ankle monitoring device. They get that for free, and then they destroy it, and then it's gone, and then it's thrown in a trash can somewhere, or used as I don't know whatever. But anyway, so they go on to say, worse yet, officials say they have had to pull deportation officers off duty in prisons and jails where they were arresting criminal migrants and deploy them to the border to help the Border Patrol release all the families. See, there's a little bit going on here, because what Border Patrol is saying is, hey, look, we don't want to be the bad guys on this. So when we release, and also we don't want to look like we're doing the catch and release. So they've been handing them off to ICE to do the actual release part. So Border Patrol says, well, we catch them, ICE releases them. So you got a little in-house fighting there, which is kind of stupid, in my opinion. I mean, these guys should totally be on the same team instead of trying to undercut each other. I mean, it's bad enough, the Congress undercutting them and everything else. They don't need to be doing this to each other. It's like a circular firing squad. So anyway, the current crisis that is occurring at the southwest border, the numbers that we collectively as a nation are seeing is absolutely unprecedented. Unprecedented, said Natalie R. Asher, Acting Executive Associate Director for Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Deportation Division. As deportation officers have been pulled from their regular duties, ICE arrests have plummeted 12%, falling from more than 39,300 during the final 3 months of 2017 to just 34,546 during the same months last year. Yet deportations actually increased from 60,572 to 66,000 549. So what's happening is, look, the Democrats and everybody is telling everybody, oh, just overwhelm the border, overwhelm the officials, and we don't have the resources to be able to hold you, and we'll make it if they hold you in conditions that are less than, again, a 5-star hotel. We're going to throw a big fit about it. We're going to go to court, get an injunction, demand that you be released, demand that you be found, demand that you be put back together with your family, and just keep coming on up here. And there's a big black market operation going on in Central America for phony birth certificates to show that, some kid that's maybe homeless in Honduras is like, oh, you're my kid, come on, we're going to America. It's like, just, whatever the kid's name. You don't have to even tell the kid to make up a fake name. You just put the kid's name on the birth certificate and say your name is Benuelos versus, I don't know, Lopez, something like that. And, then suddenly it's like, oh, this is my child. Oh, you can't separate us, even though it's not this person's child. Which is, kind of strange and kind of weird because it could be a real sicko there, and two, and two, since it's really not his kid and they can't separate him, then that means they can only hold him for so many weeks, and there's only so many housing facilities for a family unit. I mean, that takes up a lot of space, for, like, say, a father and his son, or a mother and his daughter, or like 4 people in a family. There's only so many housing units, and the Democrats and all the immigrant, rights groups, if you will, illegal alien right groups, as I would call them, they're telling them, just keep hitting the border, keep hitting the numbers. They can't, even if they get you, just claim asylum and then demand a hearing, and they can't house you, so they'll release you, and then you're free to go, and just kind of evaporate into society. And then if ICE goes and makes any arrests of these people, like, oh, they're evil people, they're Nazis for making these kind of arrests. And that's where we're at right now, unfortunately. Hey, I see you. Okay, hey, lay low, GT. How you guys doing? Good seeing you guys here. So let's see. Boom. Hey. So how you guys doing? Yeah. So So this story is really crazy. I mean. The Immigration Customs Enforcement is saying, this is unprecedented. We've never seen these numbers before. You remember when Trump first took office, even just the threat of deporting people and the threat of building the wall actually dropped the numbers down in early 2017. People just stopped coming. And then the Democrats kind of killed the whole deal by saying, well, he can't stop him, and he can't house him, and and just put the word out that no, we're not going to give him money for the wall. He's not going to build a wall. He's not going to be able to deport people. We're making a big stink about it. All the Democrats running for president are making a big stink about it, saying it's immoral to deport people, which doesn't make any sense. It's immoral. It's immoral for these people to be coming across the border. Stay in your own country, make it better. If you keep giving your government the ability to use the United States as a release valve for their problems, and for, like, if they can't, have a good, robust economy and create good jobs for the people there, and instead of the people, doing like we do in our country, bitch and moan and yell and scream and vote to vote these people out, if they keep releasing all the people who don't have a job or a good paying job, or and just head north, and they never have to address any of the grievances of the people. And that's why the Mexican government loves these people coming across the United States, because these people never, just as soon as they start getting ticked off about their own government, their own country, where they might want to do something, they come across our border. And then when they get here, they're really good at protesting. I mean, they wave the Mexican flag and everything. They're great at protesting in this country for what they consider unfair or inhumane treatment of illegal aliens. But if but they're not. You don't see them marching in big crowds in Mexico City demanding that their government be more responsive to their needs, that their government be less corrupt, that their government stop drugs and crime in their country. You don't see that. But if they stay there and actually, held their own government accountable for their actions, like they do when they come up here, they hold our government accountable for our actions, how they treat them, and they don't even have a right to be here. Then maybe things would change in Central America and Mexico. Plenty of resources in Mexico. Mexico should be just, as far as economically speaking, should be just as good as us right now, right here. I mean, they've had their independence since what, late the teens in the 1900s, early 1920s, full independence. So, and they supposedly had some kind of a democracy. I mean, make it work. Stay there and make it work. But, it's cowardly and easier to just come across our border than come over here, yell and scream, and you got a whole bunch of friendly people on your side. And people who were against illegal immigration, people who were for tough security measures, before Trump got elected, Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, all these guys, now they're all like, oh, just let them in because it's just a way to ding Trump. Meanwhile, by going after Trump, they're dinging the entire rest of us at the same time. But they don't care. They just want to win in 2020. Yeah, I agree, Layla. The Mexican president is just another traitor. I mean, and again, they get, billions of dollars per year in remittances by these people coming across, working here, working under the table, and then not paying taxes. Nancy Pelosi goes, well, 50% of them pay taxes. Well, that's not a great number. I mean, what about the other 50%? So, and even, I'm not even sure, and I doubt that number is even true. I think she just kind of pulled that one out of her butt, to be honest with you. So, and they send all their money back to Mexico. The Mexican government grabs a big chunk of that as well. That's how they get paid. In fact, the remittances account for more money into Mexico than does their entire oil industry, all the exports from their oil industry. It's one of the largest parts of their gross domestic product, or remittances from Mexican nationals who come across the border and send it. And illegal aliens can send money back. I mean, they can open bank accounts, they get phony IDs, phony Social Security numbers, open a bank account, and they can send remittances back to Mexico. Major banks do that in this country, because they want the business. They'll take the whatever fee they charge to send it over to Mexico. But anyway, so this story goes on. As deportation officers have been pulled from their regular duties, ICE arrests have plummeted 12%. Well, right, I read that. Yet deportations actually increased from 60,572 to 66,549. That's because ICE, in addition to deporting people it catches in the interior of the U.S., also deports those caught by Border Patrol agents or stopped by Customs and Border Protection officers. And those agencies are in the middle of an unprecedented surge as children and families flock to the U.S. from Central America. Border Patrol arrests nearly doubled, climbing from about 28,000 a month at the end of 2017 to more than 50,000 a month at the end of 2018. Think about that, from 28,000 to 50,000. Lilo likes naughty Mexican women. Let's see. The rate is still rising. Homeland Security Secretary Kristen Nielsen said this week that border authorities are on track to snare nearly 100,000 illegal immigrants in March. Turn this down. All right. At the turn of the century, the overall apprehension numbers were higher, but they were almost all adult men from Mexico who could be immediately returned across the border. Right, so they say, oh, numbers are down. Yeah, well, numbers are down, but the people staying, the people who we have to retain here are up. The current flow of children and families from Central America is more difficult. Of those caught in 2017, here's the number. Of those caught in 2017, 98% are still in the U.S., officials say. 98%. In other words, you get across, yeah, the numbers are down as far as who's about coming across. But as far as people staying in the country, the numbers are way up. See, that's a Democrat spin. They say, oh, the numbers are down for interdiction. But yeah, but the numbers of people who are allowed to stay after we catch them are way up because single men didn't have the whole family issue and the kids and all that other stuff. She goes on to say, the bandwidth is getting stretched, Ms. Asher told reporters. This also means ICE facilities are bulging. ICE reported holding 49,960 migrants in custody on March 2nd. And for the fiscal year, was averaging 46,000 people per day. Per day, a record level since the agency was created in 2003. Of those detained on March 2nd, 34,853 were considered mandatory detainees based on the law. Of those ICE did deport last year, 66% had criminal convictions or faced criminal charges. The rest came to ICE's attention because they were out of status. By contrast, the criminal rate of deportees was 87% during the final months of 2015 during the Obama administration. Under pressure from immigrant rights groups, President Barack Obama's team issued memos telling ICE officers not to bother with most illegal immigrants unless they had amassed significant criminal charge records. So, hey, Tanya, how you doing? Let's see. But let's see. So basically, Obama was saying unless they have amassed significant criminal records, they were keeping them. President Trump's team says it still prioritizes criminals, but there is no longer a get-out-of-jail-free card for other illegal immigrants. Yet officials at the National ICE Council, the labor union for ICE officers, warned in a letter to Mr. Trump this month that they're being forced to oversee a massive catch-and-release operation at the border. They said ICE officers are pulled from duty on terrorism task forces and fugitive operations teams to help out at the border. One particular gripe is that they are asked to ride along with Border Patrol agents taking illegal immigrants to bus stations, and then the ICE officers are told they have to be the ones to actually open the van doors and release the migrants. The ICE union officials said the practice appeared to be a way for the Border Patrol to say it wasn't the agency releasing the illegal immigrants. Hundreds of man hours are wasted each day at a time of crisis on the border when the focus of our leadership should be streamlining efforts in eliminating redundant, unnecessary work, the ICE Council officials said in their letter to Mr. Trump. Deportation officers told the ICE Council they've been out in the field moments from arresting aggravated felons, only to be pulled out because a target was suddenly deemed not ICE's priority. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, this is just disgusting. So now we'll get to the good news here. Hold on. All right. Supreme Court reinforces mandatory detention of immigrants. So this is a Supreme Court decision. It was a 5-4 decision. So elections do matter, people. Elections do matter. It was 5-4, and 2 of the 5 that voted to allow for criminal convicted illegal immigrants to be detained indefinitely, even if they were released from prison a few years earlier. Part of that 5-4 was Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Now, I'm not saying Kennedy wouldn't have voted this way. He might have, but we don't know. But definitely Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh voted this way and provided a 5-4 majority. Carla's looking sexy today. Yay! All right. Thank you, Mr. Lalo. And see, until then. There you go. So anyway, here's a good news story. Supreme Court reinforces mandatory detention of immigrants, so let's kind of get to that. And then I'll open the phone lines here in just a few seconds. The Supreme Court's March 19th decision in Nielsen versus Preap rejected challenges to mandatory detention of certain non-citizens, aliens, under the Immigration and Nationality Act. Generally speaking, mandatory immigration detention is an exception to the rule that confinement requires an individualized showing of flight risk or dangerousness. Justice Samuel Alito, writing in Preap for 5 justices, concluded that the INA required detention for a broad range of aliens, including those who had been released from criminal custody years before their immigration arrest, had lived uneventfully in the community with their families for that entire period. Okay, so basically what they're saying is the Ninth Circuit, I think it was the Ninth Circuit, said, hey, if they're illegal and they do their prison time, because first you make them do their prison time, then you deport them. But if you're not waiting right at the prison gates when they come out and you don't grab them right there, and they're out for like a couple of days or a couple of years, you can't hold them indefinitely. You then have to set bond for them and then allow them to get out. And of course, they post bond and they split. So the Supreme Court said no, that's a misreading of the law. The law was enacted in 1996, and the law is down there. And of course, the 4 liberal justices voted against it, but there's only 4 of them. Thank God President Trump got elected. If President Trump didn't get elected, it would have been 5-4 the other way. I have no doubt. That would have been Merrick Garland. He would have been appointed and confirmed, and it would have been a 5-4 decision going the other way. Elections matter, people. Don't get complacent. I know everybody's mad at, not everybody, but I know some people are mad at Trump. He's not doing enough. He's not tough enough. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. What is the alternative? Ben Shapiro, like when he said, well, I'm not voting for Trump. This is back in 2016. Oh, really? So basically, by not voting for Trump, he was voting for Hillary Clinton. So he would prefer to have Hillary Clinton in office right now in all these different Supreme Court cases coming down the pipe, just like this one would have gone the other way. He would have preferred that because Trump was obnoxious and rude, and he wasn't a conservative up to Mr. Shapiro's standards. Well, you know what? Screw him. Okay? That's all I got to say. Screw Ben Shapiro. There you go. So anyway, let's see. Let's see. Justice Stephen Breyer, joined by Justice Ginsburg, Kagan, and Sonia Sotomayor, dissented, citing the familiar canon that a court should construe a statute to avoid serious constitutional questions. While Justice Alito's opinion dealt solely with the Immigration Naturalization Act, the substance and tone of his opinion suggested that future constitutional challenges to mandatory immigration detention would face formidable obstacles. Good. The INA Immigration Naturalization Act provision at issue in pre-op was 8 USC 1226 C1, requires immigration detention when the alien is released, which is the statute right here. 8 U.S. Code 1226, arrest, detention, and release. On a warrant issued by the Attorney General, an alien may be arrested and detained pending a decision on whether the alien is to be removed / deported from the United States, except as otherwise provided in subsection C. And pending such decision, the Attorney General may continue to detain that arrested alien and may release the alien on a bond of at least $1,500 or conditional parole, but may not provide the alien with work authorization, including an employment authorized endorsement or other appropriate work permit, unless the alien is lawfully admitted for permanent residence, or otherwise would, without regard to removal proceedings, be provided such authorization. So basically, this statute said he may detain him. And what the Supreme Court said, what Alito said was, look, when Congress wrote that, they wrote this law not in a vacuum. They wrote it because Immigration Service was having a hard time, holding on to these criminals, and a lot of county jails and state prisons were releasing them, not notifying ICE. It wasn't even a sanctuary city thing. They just weren't notifying because, they're busy. So they said, okay, look, you can get them, and you can get them. It doesn't have to be like right that day they get out of prison. So Alito says, no, if you look at the intent of Congress at the time in 96, it was a Republican Congress and President Bill Clinton who signed it into law. They were trying to allow ICE, not ICE at the time, INS, Immigration Naturalization Service, to be able to grab these people, and if they convicted of a crime, then be able to hold them indefinitely until deportation, because they knew that if they released them on bond, they'd be gone. So let's see, so INA provision at issue was that code section which requires immigration detention when the alien is released from custody based on conviction for a wide range of crimes, from crimes of violence to theft to possession of marijuana above a set threshold. Under the INA, each of these convictions constitutes grounds for non-citizens' removal. Lawful permanent residents are included among those who may be detained, such as Moni Priap, who was born in a refugee camp to Cambodians fleeing the genocide of Khmer Rouge and became an LPR in 1981. Immigration officials detained Priap years after his conviction for possession of marijuana. As Justice Alito noted in his opinion, Congress enacted this statute as part of a legal immigration reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, because legislators believed that individual bond hearings led to overly lax results. Bond hearings did not identify all flight risks, even though most non-citizens granted bond appeared at their removal hearings. Not all did. Hence, Congress's resort to the drastic option of mandatory detention without a bond hearing. Writing for the court, Justice Alito found that the provisions "when released" language did not require the government to either immediately detain any non-citizen released from criminal custody or else lose the power to subject that person to mandatory detention. Rather, Justice Alito concluded the text of the provision and the policy driving its enactment meant that detention was mandatory for a non-citizen arrested at any time after release from custody, including years later. So Brent Kavanaugh was asking some questions at the hearing, and obviously he voted in favor of this. So that's good news. So there we go. So I gave you a little bit of bad news, and I gave you some good news. So there you go. But let's get the phone number up here. There we go. And let's get me up here. Boom. Anyway, there's our live call-in number. Now, just to let you guys know, for some reason, nobody ever wants to appear on camera. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys are shy. But I now have the ability to have 2 live call-ins appear on camera with me. So basically, it would be kind of like, I'll show you. So if it's just 2 of us, it would be this one. Let me cut across. It'd be like that. It'd be me and somebody else appearing live on camera, which is really cool. And if it was 3 of us, I'll show you that in a second. If it was 3 of us, it would be something like it'd be like that. 1, 2, and 3. See, 1, 2, 3. And so you can appear right on live camera and be here live on YouTube. So I know for some reason some of you guys don't want to appear on camera. I don't know, but maybe you don't. I don't know. But if you want to, I have that ability now to bring in two callers in at the same time, two live video callers at the same time. I can't do that with Skype yet, as far as actual phone calls, like a conference call and a phone call. Can't do that yet, but I can definitely do it here on vMix. This is through vMix's video production. I mean, I could even pop it up, get an upgrade, and go. I can do up to 8 cameras, but I'm not going to do that because I can't even get one person on camera, let alone 2. So I'm fine with the 2-camera option I have with vMix right now. So if anybody wants to appear on camera, like I said, it is an option. You can actually appear if you would like. So I don't know. Anyway. So if you do, oh, you're ready. Okay. Well, I tell you what, all you got to do, Lalo, is send me an email to, here, I'll put it in here as well. All I got to do is send me an email to that address, and then I will, hey, Janet Goodman, how are you? Let's see. Welcome aboard. And like I said, all you got to do, Lalo, is send me an email, and then poof, I will send you a link, and then you'll be on. You will be on. So there you go. But yeah, so it's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to appear. If they don't want to, let's see. So yeah, just send me an email to ca2jarga@gmail.com and just say in the description that, hey, I just sent you an email. Then I'll just shoot you the link, and then like you're totally good to go at that point. I mean, like totally good to go. So yeah. But let's see. So as far as what we're going to talk about further tonight, we could talk about, let's see, there's some additional stories, and we'll get to those. So let's get to, let's see, what do I want to get to? The Wall Street Journal, talking about the Fed, growth fears to keep Fed on hold. So let's take a look at that story. And let's see. Boom. Oh, wrong place. Let me just get myself over here in the right place. Boom. All righty. Growth fears to keep Fed on hold. Up, Lalo. Hey, Lalo, how you doing?
How you doing, Mr. Carl? What's up? How you doing?
Doing good. So what are you up to tonight?
Not much. Hello, everybody here. I want to say hello to everybody here. I mean, everybody's so good. By the way, I can't go live right now. I'm not very decent.
You're very dizzy?
So anyway, I don't wanna put you in trouble, but I'm not very decent. I don't think everybody wants to see me right now. But
wait.
Anyway,
would you say you're not very what? What are you, like, naked or something, or what?
No, I'm not naked, but I don't feel like putting some extra clothes. I just anyway. I'm just busting. I'm just kidding, Carl. You know me. I can't take things too much serious. But anyway, what's up? Nice to be here. Nice to be here with you and with everybody here. I just, man, it feels good. It really feels good. It feels nice here, man. Hearing you. By the way, I'm not trying to say to sound, I don't know. I don't want to say stupid or anything. I'm just saying it feels nice to be here, listen to you, and be here. That's all I wanted to say, man. You guys rock. You guys really rock.
Oh well, no, man. You're totally cool guy. Totally good. So yeah, I saw. So what did you think about that story about we're releasing what one? I forgot. Let me look at the number again. How many it was? I almost forgot. Looks like they're releasing 1,000 illegal immigrant family members per day. Per day. That's 300. If they do that every day, that'd be 365,000 people being released into the United States every single year. We cannot absorb that many people. It's impossible. We can't do it.
I'll tell you what. I wish being naughty in a way. Hey, Maronori, I just want to say hello to Maronori. He just got here. By the way, sorry, Carl. Ito, Tanya, GT46. Man, if I miss someone, Johnny Goodman, everybody, hello. But yeah, look, I got to hear what you said. If it was 1,000 a day, let me tell you, I will be a happy man. I'd be a happy man. I wouldn't complain. But the thing is, I got some videos. I got to hear some other stories from other people that they're in different places, Texas, Arizona, whatever. And it's not 1,000 a day. It's more, brother. It's more.
Oh,
I wish
wow,
I was
really?
wrong. I wish they were wrong. I wish I was wrong. Supposedly, when they say the caravana, the caravans or whatever, they're like 10,000 people, whatever. Honestly,
Right.
to me, I don't care anymore. If they say 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, even 20,000 caravan people, whatever, I don't care. That's nothing, because for what I see the videos, and I hope I'm wrong, but it's more than one person that I see the videos. Over 10,000 every single day. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to one place. It's different places, different states, different places, all right? Especially right now there's Texas, right? Because Arizona is so packed, all right? So right now the next step, they're going to Texas. And from Texas, look, I'm going to give you an example. I saw a video, okay? This is from, her name is Atomic News, okay? And she got other people. So I recommend it. She's one of those people like us. Okay, she puts videos that it's people out there that they're not getting paid or anything. They just go over there and they make the videos.
Right.
So anyway, right now, since it's so convenient, they notice that when people are coming from other countries walking, it's becoming too expensive, to give them food and water and all that shit, right?
Right.
Oh, sorry. So
I don't worry. I curse. You're good. You're okay.
All right. So what they're doing right now, and I saw a video, but I saw one video. I'm pretty sure it's more. It was at nighttime. So anyway, what they're doing right now, I'll say cartels, but it's these people that they're getting money because they're getting paid every time they bring people here. They're getting paid. There is money.
Right.
Supposedly they're getting between 1,000 to 7,000 a person. It depends who they are, if it is a girl, a woman, a kid, whatever. I don't know how that works.
You mean there's like charity organizations giving them extra money and stuff?
No. They're getting paid to bring them over here.
Oh, the coyotes. The coyotes.
Right. But it's supposedly between 1,000 and 7,000, but they don't know how much they charge the kids, the women, the guys, but it's between that. Now, of course, it's to give you an example. It can be more, it can be less, but supposedly it's between $1,000 to $7,000 each, whoever they are. So what they're doing, they're not bringing them like in caravans no more. Since they see that everything is so easy, what they're doing now, they're bringing by buses. All right. So they're bringing by buses. Okay, they're bringing by buses. And I saw a video, by the way. So this is not BS. They're dropping them. This place is in Texas. Okay, the wall is finished. Like right, it's not that it's finished, meaning like it's not finished. So where the wall is finished, they're dropping them right there. And I saw the video. The guy is like telling them, "Okay, that's the wall. Go that way." So what they do, they walk that way. I swear, I'm not kidding about this. After they put a step, after they go to the, after the wall, if nobody's there, of course, they're going to keep walking. But if somebody's there, the only thing they do, they put their hands in the air and they say, asylum. They say in Spanish, asylum, or whatever they fucking, sorry.
Right.
They say in Spanish, they asylum, or whatever, I don't know how they say.
Right.
And that's it. Because they know right there, they're gonna get they're gonna get caught. They're gonna take them to I don't know whatever the places they are. They're gonna check if they have any wreck or whatever they do. I don't have no idea what they do.
Right.
Okay, and then pretty much after 2-3 days they're gonna get released.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, yeah, because the Democrats wouldn't fund enough. They wanted more housing facilities to be able to. They say, look, under the current law and under the different court cases, we have to house them in certain humane conditions, and we don't have the facilities to do it. So if they can't house them humanely, which is like $700 a night to house one of these kids, it's like I said, it was like staying at the Western Bonaventure,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
no, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so then they have to then they have to release them, back into the general public, which is terrible.
Oh my God, exactly. And the whole thing. And by the way, sometimes I can watch these videos. I can. I was actually just talking to the girl Atomic News. She's one of the ones that they put these videos, and I told her I can watch her videos. I mean, I know it's the truth. I know that's what's going on, but man, you get so obsessed, so aggravated that sometimes I can watch it because I can't do anything about it, and oh my God, I get frustrated.
Right.
I get pissed. Because how easy it's like, oh my God, Carl, I'm sorry. So it just how, oh my God, how can you not see this? And by the way, I'm not blaming President Trump. I love the guy, and I know he's only one man.
Right.
So I don't blame him.
Sure.
Because everybody's against him. But the thing is, like, come on, even if you don't like Trump, okay, how can you not see this? You're destroying this country.
Well, yeah,
you're destroying Americans' lives.
I mean, look, we take a million in a year, okay, but if we're then okay, first of all, like I said, if it's 1,000 a day, then that's like say 365,000 released. Then you add on top. Then you add. Well, no, those are just the people who get caught and get released, Lalo. Then you add the number of people who get across without getting caught. So just double that. Just double that number. Yeah. So double 365. Just bump it up to say 800,000. We're now probably far off. More people get across it without getting caught than get caught. We don't have the manpower to catch everybody. So I guarantee you, even if you just double the number, you'd be safe. But it's probably more like 800,000, maybe a million a year that are coming across illegally, plus a million that we have already legally entering the country. We can't handle that kind of load. And again, a lot of these people are unskilled. A lot of these people don't even have a high school education. They can't speak English, and they're limited on the jobs they can get, and they're pushing out other people from low skilled jobs that would normally work those kind of jobs, working class jobs. Those are working class jobs. Those aren't bad jobs. Those are working class jobs.
I gotta do some push-ups. I'm so fucking angry. I gotta take it at something. I gotta do some push-ups. No, but serious. Look, I agree with you, Carl. I'm with you 100%. And I was just talking to my mom today. My father's in Jersey right now, so right now, okay, I don't know why I'm saying this, but anyway, real quick, I was having lunch with just me and my mom, and okay, she got to deal with me because I gotta talk about political stuff, and hey, I don't have nobody else, so she got to listen to me.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm telling her what's going on, and she, I told her about all these illegals coming in, of course,
right.
And and she's like, yeah, I understand. Mom, you do not understand. I tell her, you do not understand. It's like, it's okay. But it's so many things I don't want to go through because I know and everybody here know that back in the 1960, it was only allowed 160,000 whatever from European countries. I mean, I saw the videos, and now then they changed the rules, and then whatever. Meaning everything changed. So meaning more people was allowed to come here. Okay, that's the whole point. And the thing is getting worse. For what I hear, they're giving 1 million visas a year, but they want to put it to 1.2. Okay. Now I don't know how much that is true. That's what I heard. Now that's visas, all right, from all over.
Right.
Now illegals. Now supposedly it's about 10,000. They're coming in. That's why I don't care. When they say caravan, I don't care anymore about the caravan. I swear to God, I don't care. Because if they say, caravan, 10,000, so what? Every day they're coming in.
Yeah.
So who cares about one caravan?
Right.
Okay. Before I used to be like, oh my God, 10,000 people. But now But now I'm seeing thousands and thousands of people coming in every day. It's like,
Right.
who cares about the caravan?
Right.
You know? So anyway, I'm not. By the way, I'm sorry, everybody here. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say
No. Actually, unfortunately, the truth is very negative. I mean, we got one good Supreme Court ruling, yay, but that's only after they've been convicted. They've been convicted in a court, and then you can hold them, forever. But see, like I was saying, I think I said at the beginning of this video, and I've said before, there's a big black market going on right now in Central America, in Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Guatemala for making fake birth certificates. So they find these kids, and they're not actually their kids or whoever. I mean, some of the, some they kidnap, and then they get a phony birth certificate, and they tell these kids, okay, I'm your father, I'm your mother, whatever, come on. And then don't worry, when we get to the U.S., we say asylum, like you said, and then since it's a family unit, they can only hold they can't separate the family. So and there's only so much housing for family members. I mean that's like you got to give them a whole kind of big room just for themselves. And versus putting like bunk beds in there and putting several like maybe 8 or 9 people in there for you got to just put them in one room.
No, exactly, Carl. And look, just to give this is a little, it's not different. It's the same thing, but just different people. It doesn't have to do with Spanish. I saw a video yesterday, okay, about Muslims. It's in Virginia. It was in Virginia. I don't know where in Virginia, but it was in Virginia. And this guy, he put a video saying that this place, they're making new houses. They threw, by the way, they threw the white people and black people. Okay, so it wasn't just white and black people. They didn't throw them out. They took them out and they put them in a place that was not so good. Okay, I don't know where, but somewhere in Virginia that wasn't so good.
Right.
So that place, okay, this has been for a few months, so it's not like it was right now. So it will be a few months. So they've been not fixing. They've been putting new build like condoms, like really like new buildings or whatever. Not buildings, but 2 or 3 houses, whatever.
Like townhouses, condominiums,
exactly. So thank you.
Duplexes and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, exactly. I saw that video. Yeah.
Oh, you saw the video. So it was for 350 family, okay?
Right.
And then they had a
funeral. I mean, they were really beautiful places, and they had to displace a bunch of people who lived there. They pretty much had to run them out of there.
Oh my God, yes. You saw the video, yes. Oh my God, I put it in Twitter. I actually put the thing in Twitter last night.
Uh-huh.
Guess what happened this morning? Guess what happened this morning?
You got suspended.
Ask me.
What
I put it in Twitter.
What happened this morning?
I put it in Twitter, and by the way, I'm not the type that I go to Twitter. I really don't go to Twitter. I just go to Twitter to see what Donald Trump puts. That's it. I put a video in Twitter last night. This morning, they told me it was out. And they told me that, that I couldn't put stuff like that or whatever they put. They didn't, by the way, they didn't took me out from Twitter because it was only one video. Because I never put anything to it. Never.
Wait, you're telling me you just put the video on there showing that they displaced all these Americans who were renting the properties, and they bought up. See, in other words, when people are renting those properties, and they come in and they pay the people who own the buildings there. The people renting don't get any benefit to that. They just get an eviction notice and said you're gone, and then they tear down the buildings, put up all these brand new fancy. These are beautiful buildings. I saw them, and then they displace all the people who live there, who maybe work down the street, have jobs where they can take a bus to work. And they're gonna go find another place to live. Move their family, move their kids out of school, and then all these illegals, suddenly these refugees, people just come in and they get this free housing. It's amazing.
Hold on. I don't know if that's the same video. It sounds the same, but the video I saw, the houses they were not finished yet. They were still in construction, but they seem like they were going to look nice. So they were not finished. So I don't know if that's the same video, but it sounds the same. Look, even if it is not the same, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same story. If it is one story, it's the same. But the guy was saying that they threw the black people and the white people that they were living there out, and then they were fixing it, not fixing it. I'm sorry, they were making it new, and the houses they seemed like they were not ready. okay, but they were in construction, and then they have a funeral place or whatever, a funeral, one of those things, funeral. They were going to put it down to put one of those, the Muslims, how they call it, the Muslims, not like a church, but how they call it,
a mosque.
Yeah, exactly. They were going to do one of those things, and the guy was saying, look, this is what is going to happen. Okay, first they throw white people and black people that they needed this to places that they were like, I guess, not so good. These people that were coming here, it was 350 people, families that they were, the place it was good for. It was going to, in a few months, he said, it's going to be like if you're Christian or whatever, you're not going to be allowed. It's going to be one of those places you're not allowed to get in there, okay? And I know what he meant. He was saying, all these people are getting like $400 for every kid. They're getting free insurance. They're getting free insurance in car insurance. They're getting free car insurance, and they're getting food. I mean, pretty much they're getting everything free. And he said, people, he actually keeps saying, American people, keep an eye, because right now it's this, then it's that. It's going to just keep going. So I don't know if that's the same video, but I'm pretty sure it's all the same. Everything is the same. So anyway, I put a video in Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I never ever put anything in Twitter. Never. I only go there to see what Trump does. So I put the Twitter. I don't know if it was because it said Muslim, whatever. I put the Twitter. What happened? This morning it says I was out. It was out. I don't have the Twitter anymore. It's out.
Well, no. Now, I saw that video. There was nothing wrong with that video. I mean, the video just presented facts. It just said, okay, these many people were living here, and then these many people had to move out of here, and then they put all this brand new housing up, brand new beautiful housing. I mean, this stuff was expensive. I forget how many millions of dollars Virginia spent on it. But it was a pretty good amount of money, and then suddenly they said. And I mean, that's all the video said. The guy just said, "Look, these people got moved out, and these people got new housing and got moved in, and they live there for free." I mean, it wasn't a bad video.
No.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that video. I mean, just identifying someone as a Muslim refugee is not a bad thing. I mean, that's who they are. So if you ask them, "Who are you?"
Listen,
if you ask these people, "Hey, who are you?" "I'm a Muslim refugee from Syria." They'll tell you the same thing. So all this guy did was say, "These are Muslim refugees from Syria or wherever, Yemen, whoever." Somalia, and that's all he did. He didn't do anything bad on that video.
No. Listen, Carl. I'm with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. No. But my point is that, look, I never, ever, look, I'm being honest. I never put anything in Twitter. Yeah, I mean, you can go to I can give you my name. You can go to Twitter. I never put anything. I never have put anything in Twitter. I only went to Twitter because of Donald Trump. That's the only reason I went to Twitter.
Well,
Trump,
it's funny. It's funny. The only reason why I went to Twitter was to follow Donald Trump also, because I just like following him and putting a heart on his tweets and stuff.
Right. Me too. I'm like, let me support him. That's why I went there, and I wanted to see whatever he put.
Because I agree. Otherwise, I would never be on Twitter. He's the only reason why I'm on it.
Hey, no. Look. I mean, I'm with you. I'm laughing too, but I'm with you. And don't get me wrong. I put some of the people that I like. I put them there. Meaning like I subscribe to them. But the main reason is because Donald Trump. And don't get me wrong. Whenever he's gone, I'm gonna get out of Twitter. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stay there. I'm only there because I am kind of to give him support.
Right.
So my point is, like, I never go really there, but I went there because I saw this video. I'm like, fuck, I don't know why. I guess I was bored, whatever. I have nothing to do. I'm like, let me put it on Twitter. I never put anything in Twitter. Never. That was my first time. And let me tell you, I put it last night. This morning, it was gone. It was gone because I went there because I was curious to see how many people saw it or whatever, or if they put any comment. Yeah, some people put comment, but it was gone.
Wow,
it's
that's
not
crazy.
there no more.
No, that's crazy.
It's not there no more.
No,
now,
and all you did was tell the truth, and all that guy did on his video was tell the truth. It wasn't really opinionated either. I watched it. It was just pretty much here are the facts, and that's it. He gave a brief commentary, but it wasn't anything over the top. I mean, I watched it. It was fine.
Exactly. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, look, first of all, I don't have no followers in Twitter or anything. You know what I mean? I don't have nobody. So I'm thinking to myself, okay.
Hold it. You know what, Lalo? I'll follow you now. I'll go find you. Are you just like at Lalo, or what do you do on Twitter?
Oh,
Are you Lalo?
No. Hold on. Let me try. Hold on. Let me try to remember. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Lilo 69. I'm pretty sure it's the
Okay,
same thing.
I'll tell
Oh
you
my
what.
God, Carl.
I'll find
Carl,
you and I'll follow you.
I feel very stupid. It's just I never really pay attention, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. But I can double check. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll double
Yeah, go
check.
ahead.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, we'll
Hold
all
on.
follow
So,
you. We should all follow. We should all follow.
oh no, listen. You serious? You guys don't have to follow me. I
No,
don't have nobody
we'll
there.
follow. We'll
I
follow.
just,
We'll follow Lalo. We'll follow Lalo. That'll be totally cool.
like I said, I went to Twitter just because of the Trump, because I really don't care about Twitter, and the only reason I'm still there because of Trump. Whenever Trump is gone, I'm out of Twitter either.
Well,
So,
no. They know they'd have a riot on their hands. There would be so many people would leave Twitter if they kicked him off Twitter. I mean, they would lose probably well, he has 53 million followers. They'd probably lose 50 million.
You know
million
they're losing
people.
people already.
Oh
you
yeah,
know they're losing,
yeah. But if they kick Trump off Twitter, they'd lose 50 million people, and not to mention all the people that go on Twitter.
How many?
Trump has 53 million followers on Twitter. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
I believe it. I believe it too.
Yeah, not to mention all the people that go there and then go to other people's sites after they look at his. I mean, Twitter makes a lot of money off of Donald Trump being on Twitter. They make a ton of money.
You know, it's not only Twitter. All the mainstream media is doing better because of Donald Trump. That's why they keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think when Donald Trump is gone, I think the mainstream media, because the mainstream media was going down. Meaning the mainstream media was going to the crap. But now Donald Trump came, and they were talking shit. By the way, I don't know this. I'm just going for what I see in other people's YouTube channels, and I believe it. By the way, I believe it. So supposedly they were going down, and then Donald Trump came, and
the ratings went back up. Yeah, they just turned into a we. They just turned into a we hate Donald Trump, and about probably 40% of the country hates Donald Trump because, well, they don't know. Actually, if you ask people why they hate him, they really can't give you any good reasons.
Exactly.
I mean, trust me.
Exactly.
I've asked people who say they hate him, and I can't never get a good reason for it. I mean, really, I can't get a logical reason. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Because they don't. It's not that they don't know. Well, I mean, they don't. Of course, they don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like, look, this is the thing that I think is funny. It's like if you ask me something.
Oh wait, hold on. Laura says she can't find. Laura says she can't find you on Twitter.
Oh, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, take a second. Take a look for it.
No. I'm actually looking for it. And guys, I'm sorry. I'm just doing two things. Hey, I'm not that smart. I can do too many things at one time.
Oh, shut up.
But my point is, like, when I see these interviews, and they ask people, oh, why you think he's racist, or why you think he's this, or whatever, and people are like, oh, I don't know, that's because he's racist. Look, if you ask me something, okay, and you say why he's racist, or well, this is an example. I'll tell you why he's racist because what I know. It may be bullshit, but I'll tell you why I think he's racist. Or if you think this guy is bad, I'll tell you what I know.
Right.
But the point is, like, when you ask these people, they don't even know. Like, if you ask me, oh, why do you think he's this? I'll tell you. Now, I could be wrong, but I'll tell you why I think.
Right.
These people, you ask them, they don't even know. They don't even know.
No, they can't. They can't give you an answer.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're gonna say, even if it is a bullshit answer, say something. They don't even know. They don't even say that because they don't have no idea. They just follow. It's like,
right.
Oh, he's racist, and my friend's like, okay, he say he's racist, so he's racist. No, man, think for yourself. Go. Oh my God, Carl, you know what I mean, man. It's hold on. I think I almost got it. Oh, by the way, if you want me to hang up so somebody call.
No, you're good. No, nobody. No, you're good. If anybody wants to call in, just put in the chat. You want to call in.
If somebody calls, please. Right now. I'm just. By the way, if you go to my Twitter account, I don't have anything right now. I only had the video. That's it. I only had the video, and they took it out. Say password. Oh, wait. What the fuck? Okay. Sorry.
Well, don't tell us your password.
No. But I'm just saying. I'm like, man, this thing is not working out good.
Well, I'll tell you what. Don't worry about it. Oh wait.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so what if guys look? Okay, because I changed it last night. Last night I changed it because I didn't want to have too much information
Right.
in Twitter
Right.
because I have my name there, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if I put this video, you know how it is. A lot of people they might not like it. They may start looking for my name, and you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Right. I know what you
So
mean.
what I did, I took my name out, okay, and I put Lilo.
Right.
So I took because I had my real name there before. All right, so yes, the same thing is Lilo 69. So that's what I have. I'm just telling you guys. So if you're gonna look for me, that's what I have. Lilo 69. That's what I have right now.
Okay.
It's not together. It's Lilo and then Lilo 69.
Right. Okay.
That's what I have. That's
Lilo 69.
Right. And like I said, if you, I don't have anything there. It's just some pictures. You know, it's you're gonna see a American flag and an eagle with the American flag. That's it. That's all. I don't have really anything there. You know. So,
Okay. Oh yeah, Tanya asked if you had an eagle, so she must have found you.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I got a fist, you know, with the American flag. I thought it was pretty cool.
Right.
And then I have a eagle with the American flag, and that's it. You know, just representing America. That's all. But I don't have anything else. That's it.
Oh.
Like I said, I only went here because of Trump. So
right.
I just want to keep it simple, man. I just love America, man, and I love everybody. Like I said, I love American people. I don't care who you are, man. You know, look, I don't care where you're from. You know, Spanish, white, black, Chinese. I don't care, man. I mean, we're American, man. You don't have to be born here to be American, man. Just take care of America. Just be grateful and respect the flag, everything, man. That's all I say, man. That's why when I see these people and they come here, look, it's like me going to other countries. If I go to other country, I gotta the first thing is like I'm gonna respect the flag. I'm gonna respect their country. I'm gonna respect their beliefs. But when I see people coming here, no respect, I'm sorry. You gotta get out of here. Get out of here. You don't like America. You don't like the beliefs. You don't like the flag. Get out of here. You don't belong here. And when I see people here, American people, agreeing or believing these people, oh my God, that's when I get more pissed. I don't get pissed with the people coming here and not respecting. I get more pissed with the people here, with the American people saying, oh yeah, you're welcome. Come over here. Do whatever you want. Everything's free for you. Oh my God. Carl, I'm sorry, man. I'm getting there. Sorry. I'm getting there. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh my God, I get so frustrated sometimes. But yeah, look, my parents, mate, I would love. One day I'm gonna make a video. I swear to God, I gotta get one video.
Hey, hold on. Tanya just put the link. Tanya just put the link to your Twitter account on the chat room.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
No,
problem.
She just did. Yeah, she already did. So that way we can all jump on your Twitter account.
Oh, I mean, please feel free. You know, nothing there to to be excited about. Oh my, you guys are always welcome. Please.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to your Twitter account and I'm going to troll you. I'm going to be a troll.
Oh, you do that, man. You troll me. Oh man, please. That actually, you know what? I would take it as a compliment. Please. But yeah. Listen, you guys rock, man. I mean, I love you guys, man, and that's the whole thing, man. When I talk to you, Carl, sure. First, I learned a lot from you. Thank you. I thank you. I really learned a lot from you because you're a very smart person. You always put the facts there, like acts and some people. So I really appreciate it, man. I learned a lot, and I respect you. I respect everybody here, and. Like I said, man, I'm with you guys, man, and I just see this. I see America going down, and I hate it, man. I really hate it because, come on, man, be proud, man. Be proud of America, man. Fight for America, man. And like I said, man, I don't care. I don't care who you are, what color, whatever, what religion, but respect the place that you live for. You can have your religion in your house, but respect, man.
No,
Oh man, I don't
I
know.
totally agree with you. Totally agree with you on that.
All right, Carl. Look, I'm gonna hang up. Let somebody else call. But anyway, thank you for taking my call. I'm gonna be here, in the chat, listen to you guys. And thank you again, man. I love you, brother. And I'll be here, man. I'll call. I'll call again. Thank you, everybody.
All
Thank you.
right, man.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Lalo. Have a good one, man.
All right, bye.
All right, bye bye. And that was the great Lalo. And thank you, Mr. Lalo. Always a great phone call from Lalo. Yeah, so we'll all go over and follow Lalo on Twitter. But yeah, I mean that's what's going on. I mean, you just tell the truth, and your post gets zapped. Yeah, I saw that video Lalo was talking about. It was out of Virginia, and was talking about how much money was being spent, millions of dollars being spent on beautiful. I mean, you should see these townhouses and condos and duplexes they were building for these people. They were just gorgeous. I mean, it was like real good construction and real clean neighborhood, and they tore down a lot of low income rental housing where people, working class people, were renting houses and taking the bus to work or driving their cars. Not the most expensive cars in the world, but these people were actually working class people in Virginia, and they just, I think it might have been West Virginia, and they, just kicked these people out. Gave some money to the landlords, who owned the place, and these people had to go find new places to live, and then why? Because they had to make room for these Syrian refugees. It's like, well, I'm sorry, well, hey, I'm an American. I live here. No, not anymore. You don't. You're gone. We got to make room for these people. And it's like we're committing suicide. We're destroying our own country, and these liberals, these leftists are just they don't care. Like they want to get rid of the electoral college. Trump had a really good quote on that. He says, doing an election where you just have to concentrate on the population centers. He goes, that's actually easy. He goes, and compared to electoral college, you have to visit all these different states to pick up, the electoral college votes, which means you have to pay attention to these people in these states with, low populations without big, massive cities where you get more bang for the buck. You have to pay attention to their concerns, their issues. So basically, if it becomes just a popular vote, then that's something the founding fathers were always afraid of. Democracy is scary because if democracy is 51%, that means potentially 49% of the people are getting ruled by the mob, and basically have mob rule. And it's just one vote over 50%. That's they're in charge. And versus when you have a republic like we do, instead of just a straight democracy, which even Plato said you can't have a straight democracy if it's over 5,000 people. He said the ultimate number for a city-state was 5,000. He never said it was 330 million. He knew that would be untenable, and you would have mob rule. You'd have rule by the majority against the minority. And remember, the Bill of Rights was put in to protect, people, individual rights. And the whole constitutional and checks and balances was put in place to make sure you wouldn't have a mob rule situation. You wouldn't have a tyranny of the majority, which is just as bad as a dictatorship. That the founding and this country has survived 230 years with the same form of government. In the Western world, we are the single oldest form of one single form of government out of all the Western countries, in the world. Period. Because we have this Constitution and these articles that provide a check and balance and provide for individual rights and liberties, and so it provides a framework, a structure to keep from having a mob rule situation where you have a tyranny of the majority. But these people don't care. They basically, so you'd have the people in from the flyover states, anywhere from like say east of California to west of say New York. Those people would be ignored because there's not enough votes to go after. You might go after Chicago, maybe Houston, but that's about it. And then after that, it'd be like L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, New York, the big cities on the East Coast. And you pay attention to people's needs who live in cities. Now, people who live in cities have different needs than people who live, just beyond the suburbs. They have different things that they need addressed by their representatives. But if they're always in the minority and the majority says, well, we don't care, we're just going to run roughshod over you, because they're not just talking about getting rid of the Electoral College. They're talking about having senators voted by popular vote as well. They're talking about all kinds of things, maybe even getting rid of the Senate. It's like, well, it's passé. We don't need it anymore. So everything that's kept this country intact, I mean, we survived an invasion by the British in 1812. We survived a Civil War. We survived 2 world wars. We survived all the protests of the 60s. We were on the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, all kinds of, domestic terrorist acts in this country. This country has survived that. Has come out of all the Great Depression. I mean, that was huge. We survived all those things because of the institutions we had in place, and part of that is electoral college, the checks and balances, and our republic form of government. And these people just want to get rid of it so they can win the White House. Well, that's kind of, I mean, short-sighted is not even close to how to describe that. So here's an article again by the Washington Times. Race to the left, 2020 Democrats eagerly embrace liberals' most aggressive ideas. And again, the call-in number is area code 775-273-8970. If you want to appear on a side-by-side live interview or live conversation, if you will, you can send a email to ca2jogger@gmail.com. Put in your chat room that you did that, and I'll send you a link. You type in your username, you hit go, and boom, a couple of seconds, you'll see yourself in a little picture on a picture, and then I bring you on live, and you're live talking on YouTube to gazillions and gazillions of people all around the world. And there you go. So if you want to appear side by side in a live video link, you can do that, and just send me an email, and then you can be on. Just like you see a lot of YouTubers, they use like Google Hangouts, and they'll have like several people on a panel. I have the same thing, except with vMix, it's the production quality is much better than Google Hangouts. I mean, it's really tight. It's really nice. The quality, the camera, the sound, everything is much better than Google Hangouts. You don't get any distortion or anything like that. So if you guys, anybody wants to appear in a live video side-by-side phone call with me, send me an email. Just put in the chat room that you're sending me an email, and you'll appear live. And otherwise, if you just want to call in, it's area code 775-273-8970. Again, that's 775-273-8970. All right, let's get to this story. Race to the left, 2020 Democrats eagerly embraced liberals' most aggressive ideas. All right, this is by Seth McLaughlin of the Washington Times. Thank you again, Washington Times. Representative Tulsi Gabbard has been serving the House for years, but it wasn't until this year, as she eyes the White House, that she signed onto a resolution that envisions reparations to black Americans for the legacy of slavery. This is like getting traction in the Democratic Party. I mean, these people are really shameless. Former Representative Beto O'Rourke watched for years as fencing divided his home city in El Paso from Mexico, but it wasn't until he was taking on President Trump and as illegal immigration soared in El Paso that he suggested it might be time to tear it down. I mean, they're trying to tell you these are people who, they had one position and now suddenly they're taking all these radical left positions to try to, get the left vote, the people who come out in the Democratic primary, far left. And then it goes on. Businessman Andrew Yang, meanwhile, carved out a niche all on his own this week, embracing a push to end male circumcision. Wow. And then he went on to say, I'm highly aligned with the, I don't even know this word, intactivists, I guess leaving your penis intact. Mr. Yang told the Daily Beast, having some fun with the wordplay. History will prove them even more correct. Emboldened by the 2018 midterm elections, the liberal wing of the Democratic Party is demanding its 2020 presidential candidates embrace their most aggressive ideas for social change, and many of the candidates have complied. Again, here's the problem. Okay, 2018 midterms, generally the party in power, the party who holds the White House, their voters don't come out as strong as the party who is not in the White House. And that's normal. It doesn't matter. When Clinton was president, even though he won in 92 and 94, he got hammered. Barack Obama won in 2008. He got hammered in 2010 in the House and the Senate. And then he won in 2012, and then he got hammered in 2014. Because what happens is the people who voted for the president, and they got a midterm coming up, and they're like, oh, yeah, I just voted for this guy. Do I have to vote for him again? Do I have to go out and vote for these congressmen and these senators? Oh, God. But the people who are out of power, who lost the White House, they're pissed. And, and anger is always a really great motivator. Anger, revenge, those are pretty good motivators. They're probably stronger than people wanting to be nice and do the right thing. So it always happens. So the Democrats, for some reason, have forgotten this, and they're thinking like, oh, based on 2018, this is going to be in 2020. If we bring out the base, just like we did in 2018, we can win this thing. But they forget that all the Republicans who potentially stayed home in 2018, they're coming back out in 2020. I mean, that it happens. Again, the Democrats who voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and they stayed home in 2010, guess what? They came back out in 2012, okay, when he was on the ticket. And again, so I mean that's just what happens. And again, the same Democrats who voted for Bill Clinton in 1992, but who stayed home in 1994, the midterms, came back out and voted for him in 1996, and he won us, not a landslide, but he won going away, you know. So I mean, the Democrats are losing sight of this, and they got a real activist base, and they think, okay, we'll just get the base out again in 2020, forgetting that the Republicans and the Trump supporters are definitely coming out in 2020, and you're not going to win that if you just go so far left that you're not going to be able to pivot back for the general election. And some of these positions are so far left, I don't see how they pivot back. I mean, once you call for reparations, and here's the thing about reparations, this is kind of weird, like Hispanics, okay, because in other words, reparations will be paid for by the taxpayers. Okay, so you say, oh, the evil white people got to pay for these reparations. Well, let's be honest, most of us, our ancestors, didn't come over to this country until late 1800s, after slavery was over, early 1900s, we had nothing to do with it. But yet, my ancestors didn't even have anything to do with it. I mean, I shouldn't have to pay for my ancestors anyway. It's kind of irrelevant. There's no such thing as corruption of blood in this country. But even to that point, but then you got all these Hispanics in this country. Well, Hispanics will say, hey, screw you. I never, my family never owned a slave. Hell, I just came across here illegally 10 minutes ago. It's like, why am I having to pay for these reparations? I didn't cause any of this. Why are my taxes going up to pay for this? So I mean, Latinos are going to be very upset. Asians who just came over here should be upset. White people who had nothing to do, like the old saying, you never picked cotton and I never owned a slave. They're going to be upset. And if we don't, I mean, I almost feel like someone in the Republican Party started this, because if you want to get Republicans out to the polls in 2020, this was a great platform for the Democrats to embrace. I think this is like op research. I think this is like oppo. I think the Republicans put this in somebody's mind in the Democratic Party and said, hey, push for reparations. This will be good. It'll get your base out. Not realizing what the backlash was going to be. So, I mean, talking, trillions of dollars, I mean, it's crazy. So anyway, but I mean, they're jumping on this, all of them. And if they want to see the Republicans come out in force in 2020, this is the way to do it. If they want to see Latinos vote Republican in overwhelming numbers in 2020, this is the way to do it. Just tell Latinos that you got to pay taxes to pay for reparations for African Americans based on their great-great-great-great-grandfather being a slave. Yeah, good luck on that. That's not going to go over well. But anyway, so anyway, emboldened by the 2018 midterm elections, again, this is ridiculous for them to be thinking like this. The liberal wing of the Democratic Party is demanding its 2020 presidential candidates embrace their most aggressive ideas for social change. And many of the candidates have complied. Darrell West, director of the governor's studies at the Brookings Institution, said progressives have earned greater influence after helping power Democrats massive gains in House seats in the 2018 elections, and their agenda now dominates the party's debate. That offers opportunities in terms of voter mobilization and campaign energy, but risks moving the party out of the political mainstream. Yes, he said, much of the electorate still is in the middle, so the party has to be careful not to move too far to the left. The electorate has always been in the middle. It's always been either center left or center right. It really never sways very far from that. It just doesn't. It never has. I mean, even the worst we had was during the Great Depression in the 30s. That's when the Communist Party was big. It's when the fascists were big as well. It was before World War II. It was before all the horrors of Stalin and Adolf Hitler were known. But even at the worst of the worst times we had, the most support that the communists and the fascists got combined in the United States was only 25%. At most. And that was like the worst of times in this country. At most, the combined totals for both of them were 25%. So now you have the left going pretty much full-bore communists. I mean, they're just saying it. They're saying, well, we're not for socialism, but we're for, giving money to, taking money from wealthy people and giving it to poor people. Well, that's called socialism. They're like, oh, we don't want to go labels. That's a new talking point. I guess that's a talking point going around the Democratic Party, because they figured, how are we going to deal with this Democratic socialist? She's an avowed, Ocasio-Cortez and her friends. I'm a Democratic socialist. So, are you a socialist? Well, I don't like labels, but I'm for fairness, and make up all this bullshit. Well, the American people aren't stupid. I mean, generally, some people like to think the American voting people are stupid, but, let me tell you, we generally get it right most of the time, and when we get it wrong, we don't get it too far wrong, okay? So, so they're saying we don't want to use labels, but, these people are socialists, they're embracing socialism, some are outright embracing communism, they want to do it with the Electoral College, they want to do it with our republic, they want to turn us into the tyranny of the majority and turn us into tyrannical kind of almost a dictatorship, which you have in communist regimes, socialist regimes, stuff like that. They're going to make it look like Venezuela. Redistribute wealth, take money away from people, not allow businesses to operate. And then a bank loans like Ocasio-Cortez, if a bank loans money to an oil company and that they have a oil leak, then that bank is somehow going to be legally responsible for it. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. And for the candidate, and it goes on to say, for the candidates already in the 2020 presidential race, though there's little sense that any brake pumping is coming. Yeah. This week alone, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren announced for the first time that she wants to scrap the Electoral College. Let's see, Shalosi. Yes, it is, girl. Yeah. But anyway, so now, like I said, we talked about this earlier. She wants to scrap the Electoral College. Senator Cory Booker, let's see, put this over here so you can see it better. Let me show this on. Excuse me. Sorry, a little housekeeping there. Senator Cory Booker softened his opposition to ending the filibuster, catering to liberal activists eager to win the White House, snare control of the Senate, and push through major changes such as universal government-sponsored health care and tuition-free college. Tuition-free college, I mean, that's insane. There are a lot of people who don't want to go to college. And there are a lot of families who don't want to have their kids go to college. They want them to have to do something else. I don't know, be an iron worker, be a carpenter, all kinds of trades, be a welder, you name it, do all kinds of things. People want to be an auto mechanic. So they're going to say, we're going to give tuition-free college. So the people who aren't sending their kids to college got to still pay higher taxes for the parents who want to send their kids to college. If you want to send their kids to college, that's a choice. And if you don't have the money for it, well, that's on you. Leave the rest of us out of it. And that's coming from a guy who went to college. Lalo. Lalo.
Hey, Mr. Carl, what's up?
Not much, man. Didn't I just talk to you? What's up? What are you doing?
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to take nobody else chances to call. Just
No,
want to say,
everybody's feeling really shy.
No.
Everybody's being really shy tonight.
I know. I noticed that. You guys are very shy. Listen, Carl don't bite. Maybe sometimes. I don't know his bad habits. But listen, I just wanna say thank you for everybody. I went to Twitter and I noticed Nanja, Amy, Laura, and some other people subscribe to me. So thank you. I subscribe back to you guys. So I'm with you guys now. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. It's nice. It's a nice little support there. Like I said, I mean, this is not really like you know what I mean. Not my channel. I mean, I'm just there for there. But thank you. So I just wanted to say thank you. That's all. And by the way, yo, Carl, you're looking very sexy. Very sexy.
Hey,
keep going.
Thank you.
Keep that mustache, there. All right. I'm going to go. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody. Carl, man, keep doing it, man. Love you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Serious. Love you guys, man.
All right, you got it, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Peace.
Lalo doing the Sticks and Hammer. Okay, cool, Mr. Douchebag. Lalo doing the Sticks and Hammer sign out. That's all. Peace out. Sticks and Hammer. Yay. But anyway, so let's see. So what do we got here? So okay, so Booker's talking about the government-sponsored health care, tuition-free college, and then of course abolishing U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, decriminalizing prostitution, embracing the Green New Deal have been kicked around by the candidates, all of whom are trying to entice various demographics of the sprawling Democratic coalition. Former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel this month warned that some of the proposals played into the hands of Mr. Trump. Yes, no kidding. Who has painted the Democratic field as a bunch of socialists. Well, it's not hard to paint them as such. They're going around basically saying socialism. When you talk about universal government-sponsored health care, when you talk about taking money from one guy and giving it to somebody else to get health insurance. Somebody who's healthy, who doesn't need health insurance, and you're saying, okay, you got to go pay for this, sick person to be taken care of. It's like, well, no, I mean, I'll take care of myself and he'll take care of himself. No, that's socialism. Tuition-free college, socialism. The Green New Deal. My God, the whole thing is one big socialist package, and they've all embraced it. I mean, he doesn't have to. He doesn't really have to try. I mean, he can just call them. He can just point out, like, okay, this is the definition of socialism. This is what they're doing. You know, A equals B, B equals C, A equals C. They're socialists. And so, anyway, Earth to Democrats. Republicans are telling you something when they gleefully schedule votes on proposals like the Green New Deal, Medicare for All, and a 70% marginal tax rate. Mr. Manuel, a former congressman who served in both the Clinton and Obama White Houses, wrote in The Atlantic, when they're more eager to vote on the Democratic agenda than we are, we should take a step back and ask ourselves whether we're inadvertently letting the political battle play out on their turf rather than on our own. Well, good luck, and Rahm Emanuel. Like, one thing, you can, I'm not a Rahm Emanuel fan by any stretch of imagination, but the guy's a smart politician. Let's be honest. He knows politics, and he knows how to win races, and he knows what doesn't look good and what doesn't look. He's probably a socialist himself, but he's not going to come out in favor of these things if he ever wants to run for office. But these guys are just going full bore. Again, why? Because they saw the results of the 2018. They forgot there was a midterm, and they thought, oh, a base election is going to win it. That's why you saw that idiot, I can't remember his name, the head of the DNC, former labor secretary under Obama. He came out and said, oh, we're not going to do any debates on Fox News, on the Fox News channel, which, of course, is ridiculous because, there's your right-leaning independent voters right there, the most watched cable news network in the country, the highest ratings in the country. And he said, well, we're not going to do any debates on that channel, so we're just going to blow out that audience. So I guess they figured we got enough with the base, we don't need it. But again, he's looking at 2018. He's an idiot. Anyway, I mean, his only run at being head of the DNC is the 2018. He hasn't done this 2020 thing yet. I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. So others are more optimistic. I don't know, saying the way some candidates have rushed to the left has helped define a debate that will play out in the marathon nomination race. Yes, in the nomination race. But again, I don't know how you pivot off these issues to get to the general, where the huge majority of American people are not down with this. The fact that there are 20 candidates has caused them to be more competitive in terms of ideas. With stupid ideas, said former South Carolina Governor Jim Hodges. It's really hard for a candidate to distinguish themselves from 19 others, and one way to do that is to lay out new and specific proposals. Yes, but if they're crazy, it's like, hey, I have a proposal. Let the trash man drive into a car every day, and then that person can stay home from work and get insurance. Okay, there's an idea, and guess what? It's very specific, but it's crazy, and you're not going to win an election with it. Mr. Hodges said some plans appeal to the liberal base of the party, and others are more in tune with the centrist voter. Which plans are more in tune with the centrist voters? I'm missing that. But he said that he's not worried about what emerges, pointing to the large 2016 Republican field, which saw a rush to the right that produced Mr. Trump and left Democrats confident of Hillary Clinton's victory. No, it wasn't a rush to the far right, though. You see, they're missing that. Trump's policies were pretty much center right. I mean, they were all embraced by the Democrats just literally a year earlier. A strong border, preventing illegal immigration. That was mainstream Democratic agenda stuff from Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer. I mean, that was just like a year earlier. I mean, it wasn't like crazy stuff. He's talking about bringing jobs back. Well, how is that a far right agenda? How is it bringing jobs back? He wasn't going out and forcing companies not to leave the country. He was giving incentives for companies to come back into the country and bring their money with them, and then and bring their jobs with them by reducing taxes, by reducing regulations on these companies to allow them to be more profitable. I mean, there was nothing far right about his agenda, but all this agenda is far left. So again, these people are living in a bubble. They're missing it, which I'm happy they are. But, I mean, to sit there and you think these people actually get paid to do this for a living is amazing. And so anyway, so that's what we believed was going to happen 3 years ago for the Republican Party. How did that work out for us, he said. No, again, the Trump agenda was not far right. Conservative judges, okay, well, liberal president wants liberal judges. Okay, there you go. So that's even. Then tax cuts. Well, tax cuts have been done plenty of times in the past. They were done, the Republicans got Bill Clinton to cut some taxes in the 90s. Reagan, of course, had his famous tax cuts. George Bush did some kind of minor tax cut. Obama did a payroll tax cut himself when he was president. I remember that. So, I mean, that's not crazy far right. A strong military defense. Well, generally, that's not crazy far right either. Most people running for president want a strong military. Remember, the debate with Romney between Obama and Romney wasn't about not having a strong military. It was just that it was a question of priorities. Romney said he wanted a larger navy. Obama says no, we need a stronger, more sophisticated navy. But no, he didn't come out and say we don't need a navy. I mean, yeah, that would have been a far left position. But these people are pretty much they want to get rid of ICE. They want to get rid of law enforcement. They're probably going to when they get to the question, we need probably a smaller defense budget. I mean, they're going to be all over the place. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tanya. That's very kind. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Dum-ba-doom. 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 Dump. Yay. Let's see. So anyway, liberal voters emerged from the 2016 convinced Mrs. Clinton lost because she wasn't bold enough on progressives' issues. Eschewing opponent Senator Bernard Sanders called for a Medicare for All health plan and other formerly far-left stances. Now Mr. Sanders' positions are a starting point for the 2020 field. No, Clinton didn't lose because she didn't go far enough to the left. That's not. No, she lost because, one, she was just a bad candidate. I mean, they said, oh, she should have campaigned in Michigan more. She should have campaigned in Wisconsin. She should have campaigned in Pennsylvania more. Here's the problem. She had a lot of real serious health issues. She couldn't go out in the field that much, and she was a bad speaker, and she wasn't likable. I mean, when it comes right down to it, and she never spoke to the working class. I'm sorry, Medicare for All and free college tuition, that's not really speaking to the working middle class because they know somebody's going to pay the bill on that. And they're not jumping up and down about it. No, she was a bad candidate. She never spoke to the middle class. She never said, I'm going to bring jobs back. She never talked about, loss of manufacturing jobs in the Midwest. She never really went to the Midwest. She didn't go to the Midwest. I mean, I don't think she ever stopped in Wisconsin, ever, after the convention. Or I don't think she ever stopped in Michigan after the convention. Pennsylvania, they thought they had in the bag. And so right before the election, remember, that last big weekend rally was in Philadelphia. That wasn't planned way in advance. The campaign was looking at their internal polling numbers, and they saw that, oh, nuts, we might just lose Pennsylvania. They didn't come out and say it out loud, obviously. They didn't want to, give, Trump any encouragement. But they saw the internal poll numbers, so they put together this quick campaign event in Philadelphia. I think President Obama was there. I think Joe Biden was there. She was there, obviously Clinton. And it was this quick rush to have this big event because they saw the numbers. They were going to lose Pennsylvania. So she didn't campaign in the places she had. Now, what she did do is she campaigned and spent money in places she shouldn't have, like Georgia, Arizona, California. Yeah, so she said, oh, I won the popular vote. Yeah, because she put time and effort into states that she already had in the bag and she was going to win just to run the numbers up. Well, good for her. If Trump had gone to California, say, 20 times, he would have got a lot of votes out of California. A lot of Republicans in California stay home because they know their vote's not going to count. They know it's going to be a blue state in the presidential election, so they're going to stay home. And even where they live, their congressional seats and their state assembly seats, state senate seats, are all going to go Democrat, and it's not even worth going out to the polls. It's a wasted vote. But if you told people, hey, we don't have an electoral college anymore, it's a popular vote, your vote will count. I mean, Trump would have gone out to California. He would have been in California gazillions of times. Plenty of Republican voters in California, tons of them. They just don't come out because it's a lost cause. Same thing in New York. Tons of Republican voters in New York, up in upstate New York. If you get outside of Manhattan, get outside of the city of New York, you get outside of the city of New York, even in the city of New York, Staten Island, tons of Republican voters. Even in Queens and Bronx, tons of Republican voters. And then in Long Island, a whole bunch. And then just outside of the city, going up the state and or out to the west, tons of Republican voters. So don't tell me, in New Jersey, same thing. A lot of hunters in New Jersey. A lot of people go hunting in New Jersey. A lot of people do outdoor stuff. Same thing in, in all those big city states. So, I mean, he would have campaigned there. And then he probably would have won. He probably would have won the popular vote if he was going for population numbers. But he was doing the same thing Obama was doing. Obama wasn't going for popular vote in 2008. Obama was going for electoral votes. And the same thing in the primary. He wasn't going out for votes. He was going out for delegates. And that's how he beat Clinton. He was snatching up all these states that Clinton wasn't going to. Idaho. I remember 2008. I followed that campaign really close. He was going out to Idaho. He had a rally in Idaho. There were I think there's only 15,000 registered Democrats in Idaho. He had a rally, he had 13,000 people there. They said, shit, they could have just held a primary right there. Exactly, because he was actually going out to these little states and picking up votes. The same thing he did in the presidential run in the general election. He went out to get electoral delegates. He wasn't wasting time on population. And the Trump did the same thing. He was going for electoral college votes. He was going to Michigan, Wisconsin. He went to all these states. And in fact, I think the chairman of the Michigan Democratic Party was calling down to the Clinton team saying, "You got to get her up here." And they said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "We got Michigan in the bag." He goes, "No, no, no, you don't understand. I'm in the state. I'm going around. I'm talking to people. It's not. I don't. She might take it, but it's going to be close." And they scoffed at her. They said, "Oh, shut up. You're an idiot." Well, Trump ended up winning it. It was a close one. I think he won by like less than 100,000 votes, but he still won the state. You know. So, I mean, these Democrats better, well, I hope they don't wake up. I hope they keep going far left, because the more far left they go, the more they can alienate the center, the center left of the country. Joe Biden's going to get into the race. Now, if he's smart, we'll see how smart he is, and we'll see how smart the Democrats are. Because if he's smart, he won't go out to these Green New Deals. He won't go out for the reparations. He won't go out for all these crazy stuff on the left. And we'll see if the Democratic primary voters reward him for that and say, hey, this is the guy who could win in the general. See if they're sophisticated enough to say that, or if they're just crazy activists like Ocasio-Cortez and her friends, and they're going to deny him the nomination. But if he goes left, then he's stupid. He should stay center left. You get all the intelligent people who pick up all the money, because these donors want to win, okay? And they know if we get somebody center left who can take him on. I mean, he can put Kamala Harris on the ticket, okay? That'll take care of everybody on the left. They'll be okay. Thank you. But I mean, if he goes left when he goes into this campaign, if he goes far left, he's already going far left on immigration. I guess he figures he has to do that for the Hispanic vote. But you be careful that illegal immigration stance. Just letting anybody. You might be a little surprised at the Hispanic vote in 2020. I mean, I won't be surprised. I think a lot of it's going to because Trump's going to get some big numbers on the Latino vote in 2020. I said it here first. Well, I'm sure other people have said it, but I said it here first. Remember this day, March 21st, 2019, on Carl's Opinion. Anyway, liberal voters emerged from the 20. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, okay. The ideas that we were talking about then were considered by establishment politicians and mainstream media to be radical and extreme. Guess what? They still are radical and extreme. Just because you keep talking about them over and over again doesn't make them less radical and extreme. They said nobody in America would support, Sanders said at a rally this week. Right, but even Mr. Sanders, who has popularized the push for Medicare for all and tuition-free college, has faced a barrage of criticism from the left for not following in the footsteps of former Obama administration Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, who has Julian Castro. Well, he's down at the bottom, so he's just punching up. He's going to yell anything crazy. Who has touted reparations as a serious campaign issue. The issue has been a non-starter on Capitol Hill for years, where former Representative John Conyers Jr. regularly proposed H.R. 40, a reference to the 40 acres and a mule promise of Reconstruction to study reparations for slavery. Just 4 years ago, Mr. Conyers attracted only 2 co-sponsors. This year, with Representative Sheila Jackson Lee sponsoring the legislation, it has 30 co-sponsors just weeks into the new Congress. Ms. Gabbard signed on in late February, a few weeks after officially starting a presidential campaign. There you go. Her campaign and congressional office did not respond to inquiries about her change of heart. Yeah, well, of course, they don't have a good answer yet. Representative Jerry Govin Jr., chairman of the South Carolina Legislative Black Caucus, said the reparations appeal has some resonance with voters in his state, but it's limited. He said his advice for the candidates would be to stick with the basic issues. Most African Americans in this state are concerned about core or basic economic issues, such as a fair wage for a fair day's work, he said. I think they are concerned about health care, criminal justice reform, and I think they are concerned about education. There you go. So anyway, there's me and me and me and me. It's me and mini-me. But but the Democrats are just totally shooting themselves in the foot. This is just amazing. I mean, this is really, really, really something else. Let's see what else we got here for tonight. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if anybody follows Jordan Peterson. I do. Oh, here we go. We'll take this story because this is pretty disgusting. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when they had this bill was coming up for a vote, and now it's finally just became law. So let's take a look at this. Uh, Oregon becomes first state to offer free abortions for all. There you go. Anyway, landmark $10.2 million bill puts insurers, taxpayers on the hook for abortion copays and deductibles. So, yeah, so now taxpayers who are probably half the people in the state are against abortion are now paying for someone to get an abortion. And it's abortion for all, including illegal aliens. So you're here, you come to this country illegally, and now we have to pay for you to get an abortion. Okay. And we have to pay for people to get an abortion, even though we're not in favor of abortions, and we consider it to be murder, which includes even late-term abortions. And then, depending on what state you're in, New York or Virginia, including babies who were born and placed on the operating table and then allowed to die, or, I don't know, probably strangled to death. Who knows? Whatever. Just real stupid. And look at this person. Look at this governor. I mean, you can just tell she's an idiot. I mean, just by looking at her. I mean, she's one of those social justice warrior types. She's in Oregon. Yay! There you go. All right, so let's get to this story. It's by Valerie Richardson of the Washington Times. Okay. Oregon Governor Kate Brown has signed a landmark bill to provide free abortions for all, including illegal immigrants, by requiring insurance companies to cover their procedures and putting taxpayers on the hook for the tab. Tuesday's long-awaited signing of House Bill 3391, approved by the state legislature July 5th with no Republican votes, triggered. See, this is what I was talking about, tyranny of the majority. You got to watch out for that. Tuesday's long-awaited signing of House Bill 3391, approved by the state legislature July 5th with no Republican votes, triggered a torrent of criticism from conservatives along with praise from the pro-choice movement. Isn't that great? Thank Kate Brown for signing the nation's most progressive reproductive health bill into law today, Narrow Pro-Choice Oregon said in a statement. The $10.2 million Reproductive Health Equity Act, they always find a nice name, like George Orwell, includes $500,000 for abortions for the estimated 22,873 women who would be eligible for the Oregon Health Plan, the state's Medicaid program, except for their immigration status. Under the first-of-its-kind law, most of which goes into effect immediately, Oregon insurers must provide 100% coverage for abortions without copays or deductibles. Those covered by Providence Healthcare, a nonprofit Catholic healthcare provider, and the only Oregon insurance company that does not cover abortions, will have expenses reimbursed by the state. There are many things that make Oregon a wonderful state. Unfortunately, HB 3391 is not one of them, said Gail Atterbury, Executive Director of Oregon Right to Life. Today, Governor Brown demonstrated her extreme bias in favor of the abortion rights lobby, disregarding thousands of future Oregonians whose lives have been further endangered by making their elimination 100% expense-free. Jonathan Lockwood, spokesman for the Oregon Senate Republicans, predicted other blue states would follow Oregon's lead. Everyone in America needs to see that Oregon's former late-term abortion lobbyist, Governor Kate Brown, just forced Oregonians to fund, against their will, late-term and sex-selective abortions. Sex-selective means, you're going to have a boy. Oh, no, I wanted a girl. Oh, kill it. Okay. Mr. Lockwood said in an email, watch out, this is coming to a state near you. I believe it. The measure represents a badly needed lifeline for Planned Parenthood, whose national client visits have declined in the past few years from 3 million to 2.4 million, according to the organization's annual reports. Yeah, we got to give them more money. Even in Oregon, known for its robust pro-choice laws, 4 Planned Parenthood facilities have shut down in the recent years as the number of abortions has decreased by 15% from 2011 to 2014, according to Guttmacher Institute. The Pro-Choice Coalition of Oregon, which includes Planned Parenthood, said it helped draw up the law, no kidding, making Oregon the first state to establish comprehensive state-funded reproductive health coverage for women, categorically excluded from Medicaid based on citizenship status, and the first to codify no-cost abortion coverage in state statute. And it looks a little bit small. Let me see if I can increase the size of this a little bit for you guys. Where am I? There we go. Might be a little bit better. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys. Although I cut off a big part of you now, so let me see if I can. Let's see. Just scooch over a little bit. Let's see how that looks. A little bit better. All right. So we'll get back to this story. So let's see. Okay. We are so grateful to the bold leadership of Governor Brown and legislative champions. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Legislative champions who understand that Oregonians don't want reproductive health care attacked, said Laura Swerdlow, Advocacy Director of Planned Parenthood. Advocates of Oregon, women, transgender, and gender nonconforming individuals, people of color, immigrants, and people of faith are not going to silently stand around while politicians in Washington, D.C. try to take away our health care. It's not health care. It's called abortion, also known as murder. Okay? That's not health care. Okay? Health care means, like, how about the health of the baby? Oh, well, that doesn't count. It's not a baby. It's inside of me. It's a baby, stupid. I don't care if it's inside of you or not. Okay, the kid can survive in an incubator. Okay, being inside a woman is like being inside of an incubator. Sorry, that's the way. That's biology. That's evolution. Blame Charles Darwin. If you're religious, blame God. I don't know who you want to blame, but there is one gender that carries children to term and another gender that doesn't. Okay, it's the same pretty much everywhere in the animal world on the entire planet. And when that baby's inside of you, you're hosting that baby. You're carrying that baby. You're keeping that baby healthy and warm and fed. That is your job. Okay? And when it's born, you have the same job. Okay? There's no different. You know, it's like the baby's inside you, the baby's outside of you. You still got to take care of it. Same thing. Critics warned that the Oregon law would imperil the state's federal funding because it violates the Weldon Amendment, the 2005 congressional provision that prohibits Health and Human Service funds for states that discriminate against health care providers that refuse to cover abortion. The saddest day of my life was when I had to vote on this bill, though of course I voted no. There was no reason to actually run this bill at all, Bill Post, a Republican, said on Facebook. Oregon should be ashamed and embarrassed. He added that Oregonians should keep in mind that this is not just about taxpayer funding. It's also forcing your insurance against its will to include abortions in their coverage. It's a violation of the Weldon Act of Congress. Well, it'll probably get voted down as being unconstitutional. It's because Congress has spoken. Mr. Atterbury predicted the state's abortion rate would climb as a result of the law. Oregon taxpayers already cover nearly 50% of all abortions in the state, whether they like it or not, said Ms. Atterbury. Well, no, when it gets struck down as unconstitutional, because it's not in the Constitution, it's a state statute. So I'm sure the federal statute had some kind of provisions that if you pass a law like this, there's some kind of penalties that take effect. So there's some kind of remedy there. Oregon taxpayers already cover nearly 50% of all abortions in the state, whether they like it or not, said Ms. Atterbury. By making abortion free, this percentage will inevitably increase. We also expect more late-term abortions, which are currently very expensive as well as risky to perform. Right, they're expensive also, which means people who don't want people to get late-term abortions are also now paying for it. All completely covered by the insurance companies or by the Oregon taxpayers. And there you go. So, I mean, that's pretty disgusting. And, you know, this was going on in these blue states. You know, this is going on in these blue states. And they say, gee, why did Trump win? Because, you know, they got to go too far. They got to go too far. You know, and they don't think they're, you know, and the sad part is they don't think they're going far enough. You know, they don't think they're going too far. They don't think they're going far enough. Here's a Beto O'Rourke story. Let's find that one. All right, let's get this one pulled up here. I had a phone call coming in. Area code 503, you're on with Carl. Yeah, okay, Laura, hold on a sec. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Good, Carl. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
That is, oh, you just got me going on the abortion thing. And thank you for pointing out how absolutely insane our governor looks, Kate Brown.
Oh, you're from Oregon?
I'm in Oregon. It is just unbelievably crazy here. They're trying to take the guns. They're trying to force vaccines. They're I didn't follow it too much, but they're getting kids that are foster kids and then shipping them to some place in Iowa that they're housed in a prison, and I just like, it's just insane. It's insane.
Well,
And
no,
one of the counties here was trying to be a sanctuary county for Second Amendment rights, and that was struck down. And Saturday in the Capitol, there's going to be a big second rights show of force.
so
of course,
you guys are having a Second Amendment rally in Oregon?
yeah, Saturday at the Capitol.
Oh wow, okay. So is like any major national groups coming out for that, or is this kind of like a homegrown kind of thing? What's going on?
You know, I don't know. I don't know how big it's going to be. I don't think I'm going. I mean, I'm not going to go because I just don't want to risk getting, pounded.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
up in Oregon, that left gets pretty crazy. And up there, like in Portland, the mayor, he protects them. Now, what's the capital of Oregon again? I forgot.
It's Salem.
Salem. So the march, the event's going to be in Salem.
Yeah, it's in Salem. Yeah.
Well, is the mayor of Salem, is he a nutcase like the mayor of Portland, or is he kind of like somewhat sane?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is the mayor of Salem, is he sane, or is he kind of crazy like the mayor of Portland is?
I don't know anything about the mayor of Salem.
Let me punch this up. See, Salem, that'll be this weekend, so that'll be the 23rd. Yeah, so see, Salem, Oregon. Oh, wrong computer. Hold on. I got two computers on my face. Hold on real quick.
But I've been getting active locally, and I tell you, I had a negative opinion of these people going into the meeting, and it went down even lower by the time I finished, with these town hall meetings and everything. And I thought, I can't go back to these things because I have a temper and I could just get arrested or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, let's see here. So this is Defend the Second Rally, 32319. It's from, Northwest Firearms is got an ad about it. And let's see, it says Pro 2A Rally, Pro Second Amendment Rally at the Salem Capitol, Saturday, March 23rd, 2019, from 12 p.m. Oh, God, I wish I could get up there to go to that. Damn it. Saturday, March 23rd, 2019, at 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Event put together by Radiant Weapons and Noveske, whoever that. Let's see. The staff at Radiant have decided it's time to make a stand with our fellow Oregonians. As many of you know, the Oregon House and Senate have introduced numerous firearms related bills. Oh, here, I'll tell you what. Let me get this up on the screen. I don't know why I'm not putting it up on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on.
Carl, fly up here. If you come up here, I'll go down there with you.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me.
You'd have to fly into Portland.
Oh, I can do that. That's easy. I went to Portland once. They actually had a. I stayed at the Westin when I was up there downtown, the older hotel, and I remember, I remember saying this isn't like the Westin Bonaventure. It was a nice hotel. It was really nice. It was very clean and everything. Except the Westin, if you notice, I smoke, right? So the Westin went non. Yeah, the Westin went non-smoking the entire hotel. So I stopped staying at those places, unfortunately. But okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this.
You probably are not allowed to smoke in the whole state of Oregon.
Probably not. I try to avoid places like that. Like I live in Nevada, so I have a lot of we're a gambling state, and so they allow for smoking in a lot of different places because most people who gamble smoke. So they don't want to run them out. They don't want to run them out of town. They passed some kind of anti-smoking thing years ago, and it just drove a lot of people, especially from Asia, drove them right over to Macau because there in China you can smoke anywhere. but I try to avoid
Mhm.
states where I can't, like California. I hate California. You can't smoke anywhere in California. I stayed at a hotel there. Literally, you had to like walk off the property to be able to smoke. It's like, oh, can't smoke anywhere on the property. It's like, well, literally, I had to walk out to the street. So I ended up. It was a really nice property. It
Mhm.
was really nice property too. I ended up leaving and staying in a Motel 6, which you couldn't smoke out either. But
Mhm.
nobody was going around checking out to see he was smoking or not. So I went from this
Mhm.
really nice
Mhm.
property with a balcony and everything. Couldn't smoke on the balcony. Couldn't smoke anywhere in the hotel. Literally had to walk out to the street to have a cigarette. And I'm sorry, I wasn't about to do that. But hey, let's take a look at this rally here.
Yeah.
So anyway, the staff at Radion have decided it's time to make a stand with our fellow Oregonians. As many of you know, the Oregon House and Senate have introduced numerous firearms-related bills that are nothing less than draconian. We've been raising money and awareness in order to create what we hope will be a huge turnout at the state capitol grounds on Saturday, March 23rd. The only purpose of this event is to remind our legislators that they work for us, and any continued assault on our Second Amendment rights will not stand. They're obviously forgotten that we are in fact a constitutional republic. This is the time for anyone who cares about the Second Amendment to set aside their differences with each other, come together on behalf of our sacred American liberties. We ask that to be able to attend the event. You only bring signs of support for the Second Amendment. The only flag we should feel the need to rally around are the stars and stripes. We anticipate this will be a publicized event. Hatred of any kind, violence, or destruction of public or private property is forbidden. We plan on raising money for transportation from around the state, radio and TV ads. Yes, smart. In other words, they're saying, hey, look, the press is going to be there. Don't do anything stupid where we end up looking like a bunch of idiots. Okay, so they're saying, don't act a fool.
Mhm.
Show up, be respectful. And don't get conned into a fight because the protesters are going to show up and try to goad you into a fight. They're going to call you names. They're going to yell at you. They're going to tell you idiots and all kinds of other things. Don't let them goad you into getting into a fight and having a big scene, and then give the Oregon State Police an excuse to shut down the rally. And then they say, "Oh, look at all these crazy Second
Right.
Amendment people, these crazy gun owners. Oh, look at them. Oh, see, we let you march, and look what you do." So no, it sounds like the guys who
Mhm.
organizing this definitely got their brains about them. So that's good. But yeah, I can't get up. I got too much work going on here right now, unfortunately, for me to get up there. But yeah, I mean, it's not
Mhm.
a bad flight. It's only like I want to say 2.5 hours from Las Vegas Airport, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah.
That's close.
That's
It's just it's this used to be a beautiful, beautiful state. So did California. So did the whole country. It seemed to be sane. Maybe I just wasn't seeing the insanity that was underneath, but I don't know what has happened in the last 10 years with it accelerating.
Well,
Um,
what happened was, and I always forget the name of this woman. She's on Tucker Carlson sometimes, but I mainly see her like on the college circuit. I always forget what her name is. She appears with like Height and those guys. What happened was, it's like years ago. All the freaks from the '60s and stuff, the young kids, and they realized, hey, we're not going to make change through violence or demonstration. We got to think long term. So they all moved into academia. And so before we used to have, say, 50% of the professors were conservative and 50% were liberal. Now it's like, 90% or 95% are leftists, liberal leftists, and, 5 or 10% maybe are conservative professors. And now these professors, they don't have a problem telling their students off, shaming their students if they have a conservative view or a right leaning view, and then professors who aren't don't toe the line, they catch all kinds of crap. I mean, Evergreen, that's in Washington, if I'm not mistaken, Evergreen College, just down the street from you. You saw what happened there 2 years ago. I mean, that was a disaster.
mhm. Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the guy they went after, Brett Weinstein, I think it is. I mean, he's a leftist, and the students went after him, and threatened his life, threatened his wife's life, and everything else because he wasn't going left enough. So all these people in academia, all these professors and teachers and stuff, they kind of got into the colleges, and they're not just affecting, like the liberal arts classes, they're actually getting into the STEM class, engineering and stuff like that, where people in engineering classes, their first year engineering classes, have to fill out diversity questionnaires and take exams on diversity issues regarding engineering. Well, I don't know how diversity gets into physics. I mean, physics is physics. I mean, what goes up must come down. It's kind of like gravity, physics, but it's spreading all throughout.
Right.
It's spreading all through academia, and there's nobody stopping it. And so what you have now, you have like two generations probably, because I was in college in the 80s, in law school in the early 90s. So say the 90s, early 2000s, and now the mid late 2000s, the teen years. So you got like three generations of students who are now adults, who are now out there pushing all this crap because they were pretty much indoctrinated by their professors. And anybody that spoke out against them, if you're in college, let me tell you how it is. If you're in college and your professor has a certain political point of view, and if you buck the system, she's going to give you a bad grade, especially if a lot of the testing is discretionary, it's not multiple choice like essays and stuff. Hey, man, you'll just tell her, when you're in college, you'll tell her what she wants to hear. I mean, because hey,
right.
if you don't get a good grade in that class or the other class and the other class, maybe you're not getting to graduate school, maybe you're not getting to law school, maybe you're not getting to medical school, and then your whole life is what you wanted, your whole career path is gone. Then you're becoming like an auto mechanic or something, or working as a manager at Wendy's. So these kids, after you kind of agree, you kind of end up taking. That's why I agree with you. I mean, we were a pretty normal place, and now we see all this nonsense from the Democrats. It's totally different. It's totally different.
Oh, I each day it's just like more and more insane up here. And
yeah, I mean, you're like right in the heart of it.
I'm at ground zero.
Yeah.
It feels like, rainbow color hair, and I can expect that on a younger person, but when I see it on somebody whose hair would be gray if they didn't have this rainbow stuff all over, it's like, what am I looking at? I just feel like, so your show is so important. Axis is too. It's like it's a dose of sanity for me. And I know that I'm not allowing myself to go into these local politician meetings anymore. I don't want to risk getting arrested or anything like that.
Why? So, no, I mean, like, have you gone to city council meetings or county commissioner meetings? Have you done that kind of stuff?
Oh, my God, we have got the most corrupt crew and county commissioners you can ever imagine. And the county clerk person, the one who oversees the counting of the ballots, what a loser. And of course, she's up for election last time. And I vote, so I read all the pamphlets, and what a loser. What a loser. But I could tell that when I met her. What an arrogant, what. And guess what? She won. And when that stuff started about kids in the cages, when it very first broke,
right.
I started getting these things through Nextdoor, the commissioners saying, they stand for the kids, this is terrible and everything. Well, I couldn't control myself anymore. And I said, hey, how about the hungry and the homeless kids right here in my county and, in Oregon. And my county, you probably heard of the Hart family tragedy, where two lesbian mothers or husband-wife, I don't know what they were, they adopted 6 black kids. And they disappeared and drove their van off the Highway 1 in California.
Yeah, okay, yeah, down by Mendocino, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing about that story because Mendocino used to be one of my favorite places to go. I used to love going to Mendocino. So yeah, I remember hearing that story, and I remember seeing.
Too.
Yeah,
me too.
I remember seeing that turn, and I know exactly where that was. I'm like, oh shit. Yes, but I did not know the backstory on that. So please tell me more. Tell me more. I did not know all the backstory on what was going on with those people. So what was going on with those people?
Those 2 women adopted the kids in, I think, Minnesota or someplace. And the three younger kids, I think, were brother, sister, and that part of that family went to court to keep the kids, and the biological family lost. So these kids were put up for adoption by a shady organization, which has since gone out of business. But when they had all these 6 kids in Minnesota, they got they hit the radar in child welfare.
Okay.
So they packed up and they moved to the county I live in. So they actually lived in in our county. And I said, and hey, has there been any change done to the system, as a result of the Hart family? Because they were on the radar here. The kids were starved. They were all 6 of them were under the norm for weight and development, and they were homeschooled because the school was concerned because these kids were eating scraps out of the garbage can and everything.
Oh, God.
And
CPS,
absolutely.
CPS didn't come and grab those kids away from them?
No.
Oh, God.
And this was the same thing that was going on at the first state they got them. And they would break out, climb out the second-story window at 2 o'clock in the morning and run to the neighbor's house and beg for food and say that parents were racist and mistreating them. And they fell through the cracks. But once they hit the Clackamas County radar, what did they do? They packed up and moved across the state border into southern Washington. So if the county people right here in this county, had acted, they could have stopped that abuse, that torture, and prevented 6 murders.
Now, do you think it's because the adopted parents were LGBTQ that they were kind of skittish about coming down on them?
Oh my God, Carl. They were pretty. They knew how to take the beautiful photos with their iPhones that made it look like these kids were gorgeous and well behaved. I mean, beautiful pictures of them all lined up, sitting there meditating. Well, kids don't sit in lotus position and meditate. And
no, they don't.
Yeah, but they would post all this stuff on Facebook like they were the ideal family and everything. And one of the kids, this is tragic, was photographed at some police rally or something. I don't know what, but one of the little kids ran up to a police officer and hugged the police officer and was crying.
Wow.
And they were, the caption was, "Oh, look, peace between, Black kids and the police office and everything." And now I'm thinking that poor kid was probably crying like, "Please help us,"
Right.
Anyway.
So how many of the kids did she kill? Did she kill all of them?
Oh, all of them went off the cliff.
So total of 6 kids and 2 of them.
Yeah.
Wow. So was she like? Did she figure she was about to get the kids taken away from her? Is that why she killed him, or what was going on?
There was. I don't know. I don't know if they ever figured out what the motive was. I think they were living financially higher than they should have, and I guess they get money for taking the kids in, but it wasn't enough, and I don't know what the motive was.
Wow. Man, that's tragic, and that's just disgusting,
Oh, absolutely. And then these commissioners have the nerve to, talk about kids in the cages, and this was before it was exposed,
Right.
And I just said, I don't know what's going on the border, whether it's true or false, fake news or real news, but I do know in this state, in this county, this is our condition, and what are you dealing with it?
Right.
How are you dealing with this?
Oh no, it's
And
much easier to just talk about some foreigners down 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles away from you than it is to deal with like problems that are right there for American citizens. That's
oh,
hard.
oh
That's
God,
hard work.
oh my God, Carl. I mean, it's absolutely insane here. Absolutely insane. And you're right. I mean, ordinary folks like me, nothing special, are being, forced out, can't afford to live. And I'm talking basic living situation.
Right, just a regular
It's terrible.
regular middle class homes. Because I mean, you're getting priced out, and you can only live
Oh,
further and further away. When I was in college, I had this liberal professor at University of California, Riverside, and she was one of those. She was from San Diego, and she was this big liberal environmentalist kind of professor, and she was talking about like how we got to like prevent all this housing from going up in these nice areas and stuff. And so Riverside was like say 60 miles from like Victorville, which is like on the way to Barstow, on the way to Vegas. And so I just turned to her
hmm
and I said, if you keep not building houses nearby where people work, you're going to destroy the quality of life, and two, you're going to raise the cost of housing because you're going to have high demand with low supply. And I said, we can't all live in Victorville. And she just kind of looked at me, and she didn't have an
hmm
answer. I said, it's easy for you to say. You got a steady salary, you're tenured, you're a professor, but for the average working class person, they can't afford when housing prices go up because you don't have enough supply of houses, so the prices stay normal. And then they either one of two things: they can't live there, and they have to live far away, which means their commute to work is way long. And now they got less quality time at home with their kids, with their wives, with their husbands. And I go, wrecks families. I go, all to save,
hmm
your idea of what saving the environment means. And she just she
hmm
just backed up, and she knows to say. I still got an A in the class, but it's one of those one of those things where like these people they don't seem to care about working class, middle class Americans. That's why the one article I was reading earlier where it said, well, Donald Trump went right, and we thought he wasn't going to win. Well, no, he didn't go far right. What he did was he talked to for whatever reason, he's a billionaire, but he has like this heartfelt concern about middle class and working class people. He was rich his whole life. His
hmm
father was rich. His grandfather was rich. His uncles, he was rich. But he has this real concern about regular folks. And it comes through. And it comes through very, very authentically. I mean, he can't fake it that much. I mean, he'd have to fake it like every 10 minutes. Nobody can fake it that much. And
Right.
he spoke to us. He spoke to working class people, spoke to
hmm
middle class people, spoke about our concerns and our fears, and that's why he won. He didn't go far right. So when the Democrats saying, "Well, gee, he went far right and he won, we should go far left." No, he didn't go far right at all. But these Democrats, they're going like you said, it's crazy now. They're going so far left on all these issues. I mean, they're calling for socialism, calling for to get rid of our republic, get rid of the electoral college, get rid of the Senate, make the Senate by popular vote. I mean, they just want to destroy what's been working for 230 years, just so they can win the White House.
It, it's just it's yeah. They're. I mean, it's just like they're ready to destroy everything, ready to destroy the whole country, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and no, they don't care as long as they win the White House. They figure well somebody else will pay the price later. They won't have to do it. Wait, let me say
Well,
goodnight.
you know what?
Let me say goodnight to Ithel Thin. Ithel Thin is taking off for the night. So let me say goodnight.
Oh, good night, Ethel.
I'm trying to figure out what that means. Ithel Thin. Do you know what that means?
I no, I don't know.
I kept thinking like it was short for like
That's a question.
international something, but I don't think so. I don't know. Someday I'll figure it out. I don't know.
She was the one on the call that was like a legal. She had legal background. It was like, oh my God,
Oh, really? Oh,
wasn't she the one that was?
no, that was
And
I think that was
Amy,
Amy. Yeah, Amy D.
Amy.
Amy D. That's right. Yeah, Amy
Okay,
D. Yeah.
whatever,
But
whatever.
someday Ithel Nin will tell us what Ithel Nin stands for because I've always been curious about that. But yeah, I mean, no,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm a shy person, but let me tell you, that abortion thing just put me over the top, and I just pressed call.
Yeah, because
So
I mean,
anyway,
you're right there,
thank
and you're
you for
watching this
thank.
happen.
Oh, oh my God! I just feel so helpless. But I know that it's not all lost because there's, this show, other shows have shown me, wow, there's a lot of good-hearted people that feel the same way or similar. We're not going to agree on everything.
Right.
And that's been a really, really nice thing
Yeah.
to discover.
Yeah. Well, my famous saying is, and I got this from Pastor Rick Warren. He's the one. He hosted the debate between candidate Obama and candidate McCain, both Senator Obama and Senator McCain, back in 2008. He was in Orange County, had a big church down there, and then his son committed suicide, and it was a big mess, and he ended up kind of like leaving the spotlight. But he always said, find common ground. He goes, like, the example he gave was, he goes, look, the feminists and I disagree on just about every single thing in the world. He goes, but we found one issue we agreed
Mm-hmm.
on, and the issue was that they both agreed that pornography is demeaning to women. And he goes, and we actually worked together on that, and our two organizations came together. And we got a lot of good work done. And he goes, but if you don't agree, you don't have to agree with somebody on everything, but you can find common ground. But as far as, like, the nice thing about sites like this and other sites is that, and this is why they want to censor us so bad and try to knock us out, because it tells us that, hey, there are other people like us. Like, if you just listen to the mainstream media, you would think, the thoughts you have and the feelings you have, the concerns you have, like, well, you must be crazy. You're just delusional. There's something wrong with you. How could you think like that?
Mm-hmm.
And so they make you think that you're all alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're isolated. That there's nobody else like you out there.
Right.
And so that's why they want to get rid of sites
Right.
like this, because you come on a sites like this and you see other people who agree with you. You go, oh, I'm not crazy. And the mainstream media is like, oh, no, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of these sites because we don't want these people talking to each other. We don't want them conversing. We don't want them
Mm-hmm.
knowing that. We want them just to follow what we tell them is right. And so they try to, I'm a small site, but, big sites, they try to shadow ban them, Mark Dice, Sticks and Hammer, those guys,
Mm-hmm.
Sargon. They try to knock all those guys down. And because they're actually, talking reasonable stuff, and people saying, "Oh, well, that's reasonable," and they, "Oh no, don't listen to that. Don't listen to the man over there. No, listen to us." So no, it is good for having sites like this and for having call-in shows like this. It lets everybody know that we're not alone. That it is normal for the concerns we have about the direction the Democratic Party wants to take this country, and the direction the Democratic Party went in. I mean, they used to be pro-union, pro-middle class, pro-working class. Well, they just abandoned that. That's gone.
Oh yeah.
They go after none of those issues. Now it's all identity politics. Who can check the right boxes? Who can
Yeah.
check enough of the right boxes? You have, Beto O'Rourke apologizing for, his for being white. I mean, that's crazy. You got people talking about
Oh, that's
reparations, talking to
insane.
people about socialism. I mean, it's crazy right now.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. 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 Like, I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't have to know. I
Hmm.
don't have to know. I don't want to know. What the hell? Excuse me. But even even getting an email from my local state rep, she had a photo of her two assistants, and one was a lumpy dumpy dyke wearing a sports jacket and a crooked bow tie, and she had to give the pronouns deal for both of these assistants. And I'm like, what in the world? Is this crazy, or am I losing my mind?
No,
Anyway,
it's
you know what?
it's crazy, and you're not losing your mind. Okay, it is crazy.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Maybe I will spend Saturday morning in Salem then.
You know what? You know what? Go up there and find some really big dudes to hang out with. It's a Second Amendment rally. I don't think too many people can be challenging them too much. I mean, these guys are. I'm pretty sure you have open carry up in Oregon, so My guess is these guys will be
No,
carrying
we don't.
oh,
We don't. We have concealed.
only concealed. Well, my guess is these guys will have plenty of their concealed weapons on them. So find a couple of big dudes, you'll be
Yeah.
safe. Find some big dudes and just say, play like pretend like you're a little old lady. I'm a little old lady. Can you guys protect me? Oh yeah, no problem, man. We got you. Don't worry about it. We got your back. Don't worry.
Carl, I don't have to pretend I'm an old lady.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. And
Yeah.
you know what? This is a switch for me because, like Axe, I was, liberal and gun control. That made sense. All this other stuff. Well, hello.
Well, see,
I'm like in the gun store.
well, see, here's the thing. My guess is you're still liberal. It's just that these people aren't liberals. These are leftists. This is not American. This is not traditional liberalism or classical liberalism. The ideas they're espousing are not classical liberalism. Classical liberalism was always about individual rights and freedoms, always.
Mm-hmm.
John Locke,
Well,
John Locke, who our founders relied on for one, Thomas Jefferson relied on for the Declaration of Independence, and our founders relied on him a lot for the Constitution and for the Bill of Rights. Primarily the Bill of Rights, not so much the articles of the Constitution, but definitely for the Bill of Rights. That's a classical liberal. But my guess is you're still liberal. But these people who are leftists try to call themselves liberals. Well, they're not. They're not even close. They're not. So you're still you're still a liberal. Just now you're just voting Republican because the Democratic Party has left the liberals behind, and that's just the truth of it. That's the truth of it, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, whatever I am, I know I'm mad.
Well, that's
and
good.
I'm not taking it anymore.
There you go. Just like in the movie.
Good.
Yeah. No, it's good to get mad and good get mad. And I know you're going to vote, obviously, and get out to the polls, talk to your friends.
Oh my God, am I voting? You better believe it.
Because even though you're in a blue state and it'll probably go blue in for the presidency, at least they can't say, oh look, the Democrat won the popular vote. No, because see, a lot of people in blue states will stay home because they figure their vote's a throwaway vote. But now since they're counting votes and saying, oh, see, we won the popular vote, well, screw them. Everybody in a blue state, if you want to vote for the Republican, vote for the Republican. It's not a wasted vote because they're going to use the fact that you didn't vote against us. So go out and vote, even if you're in a blue state. Go out and vote Trump. Trump 2020, just like my hat says. Trump 2020.
Oh, absolutely. What a brilliant man. And I didn't see it until he got in, and I remember just catching clips of his debate, and they always were saying, oh, he was such a loser and this and that and the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, wait a minute. he made sense. I don't know what they're saying. I didn't realize how corrupt the
media was.
The coverage was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the media.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It's funny. I really never watched Fox News until probably June of 2016. But I couldn't get any fair coverage after Clinton locked up the nomination. I couldn't get any fair coverage of Trump or fair coverage of Clinton. I couldn't get any I want to hear the positive and the negative stories on both candidates. I want to just get all the facts.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching the mainstream media, and I was only getting negative stories on Trump and positive stories on Hillary, and they were covering up the positive stories on Trump and covering up the negative stories on Clinton. So I ended up having to go start watching Fox News. I didn't start watching Fox News until June of 2016. Because I couldn't get anything. I couldn't get any fair coverage. And I said, hey, I just want the facts. I'll make up my own mind. I don't need you to tell me how to think. So I was watching. Literally, I was watching Fox and MSNBC. I was having to switch back and forth. I was watching so much news every night. It was driving me nuts. I mean, it was like Christ. I was having to watch literally 4 hours of news a night, 2 hours on one channel, and 2 hours on the other channel. And, that's no way to have to watch TV. But now I read newspapers like the Washington Times. I use that, and the Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal is kind of a never-Trumper thing, but Washington Times is pretty good for the most part.
Well, what really did it for me was the Young Turks. During the Democratic convention, they had one of their reporters who's not with them anymore, but he was covering the behind-the-scenes stuff that was what was being done to Bernie delegates. And I was blown away by learning this. And that's when I go, oh my God. That's when I changed my affiliation from being a Democrat.
Oh, so you
And
now
then I started paying attention.
so now you're registered.
Pardon me?
Now you're a registered Republican.
I switched to green, and then I came to my senses, and now I'm independent.
Okay.
I might go.
Well, as long as you vote for
You-
Trump, hey, I'm happy if you're independent. I don't care what you're registered as long as you vote for Donald Trump, I'm happy.
Oh, absolutely, Carl.
Yeah,
absolutely. Every single day, I become more and more of an ardent supporter. Every single day, and I think I'm probably one of many that feel the same way. Wow, I didn't vote for this guy, but more and more I see what he's doing and what he's standing for and what he's up against.
Yeah, no,
So
it's a constant fight. It's a constant fight for him. I mean, I mean, that's why his poll numbers are up at 46. I mean, I was watching. I get stuck having to watch this liberal channel once in a while, MSNBC, and even Chris Matthews said, "Hey, we just did a poll. He's at 46." I mean, MSNBC, NBC News does a poll, and Trump's at 46. It's amazing he's at 46, considering every single day, every single hour of the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, LA Times, Houston Chronicle, is all negative press on Donald Trump. And the fact that he's still at 46 with all this negative press for the last 2 full years is amazing. It's just, it's literally, it's just amazing that he's still at these high numbers. So, if he's at 46 right now, come election time, he's in really good shape. But we can't get complacent, and we got to keep, putting it out there. You can't get complacent. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, every vote I'm doing is Republican.
Oh, excellent.
And if there's nobody running against the Democrat, I write in other and put Bozo or whatever.
Mickey Mouse, Bozo. Yeah, I got you. No, I guess
it's just because I'm so angry at what's going on and how it was going on right under my nose, and I'm guilty of not seeing this. But it's brainwashing.
No, it's a multi-billion-dollar multimedia news, commercials, TV, movies, all little subtle things. The best propaganda is the kind that you don't notice as being propaganda. It's the subtle types. It's like bias.
Oh, yeah.
It's like bias in the media. Like you can tell if somebody's you can tell if somebody's openly biased. But the way they're biased, which is the most effective, is just in selection of the stories they cover. They could choose to cover 20 stories, and instead they'll cover some negative story on Ivanka Trump or something like that. Something negative about Melania. Then Melania goes on a trip, instead of saying, "Oh, she was welcomed by a lot of people, everybody was happy to see her, and she got big crowds," they'll say, "Oh, she wore the wrong jacket, and people were offended." So I mean, they cover those stories. They don't, like, for instance, the gross domestic product for 2018 was the best annual rate of growth for since 2004. In 14 years, the best annual gross domestic product growth in this country, the best in 14 years since 2004. You hear any reporting on that in the mainstream media? No. Nope, silence. Nothing about it. He has to tweet. He has to tweet about it so people actually get to hear about it. He has to brag. He has to, which he likes doing anyway. So I mean, it's not hurting him to do it. But he has to brag about the accomplishments of his own administration because the mainstream media won't talk about it. I mean, annual GDP growth rate highest since 2004, 14 years. I mean that's the whole second half of the Bush administration and all of the Obama administration. President Obama was the only president in history to never have 1 year of annual economic GDP growth over 3%. First time since they started recording it. First one ever. His last year of economic growth, GDP annual growth was 1.5%. Okay, Trump came in over 3% in just in his second year in office. Okay, I mean, and if the Fed hadn't put their foot on the brake by raising interest rates, it probably would have been over 4% for 2018. So I mean, but the they won't report on that. They'll report on Mueller, Russia, all this phony bullshit, and they won't report on what's actually going on in the country that actually matters to people's lives. You know what Mueller comes out and says it's not going to affect my life. You know, the economy doing good,
Right.
that affects my life. I own a small business. The economy doing good affects my
Right.
life. People have disposable income; they can spend it on me. Okay, they can hire me.
Right.
That's what matters to me. And people having disposable income is good for them because they can spend stuff on things they need to do, but they haven't been able to because they didn't have any money to do it with. So you know those are the important things, and that's what Trump spoke to in 2016, while Hillary Clinton was speaking towards all kinds of stupid pleasantries, and that's why he won, and that's why she lost. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, thank you for listening and talking. And my battery's low, and I probably should wrap it up for the day.
All right.
But Carl, thank you. Great show. And yeah, good. I got over my phobia about calling in.
Well, I tell you what, next time, maybe next time you can do a video call side by side with me, and you can actually be on a video call for YouTube.
Well, that's the deal. I'll do that then.
Oh, okay. Well, fantastic. It's real simple. Nanya did it. Did you see Nanya when she did it? She did it twice.
I think I was on that call. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, Nanya Visit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nanya Visit did it twice.
Yeah,
she said she liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, your layout is great, Carl. It's great. And I'm actually thinking of doing a channel myself because, man, so many people like me really, really, really got hurt by the Obama years.
Well, I tell you what.
And
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And it's especially tough being an older person.
Well, I tell you what. Send me an email with your email address, and if you want, I can start. You know, because you can take the benefit of my 2 months of pain and misery trying to figure all this stuff out. But I tell you what, it was really challenging and a lot of fun to learn. I learned more about audio and resolutions and video and lighting and sound and everything. And I'm still learning. And it's kind of a fun thing for me to do because it kind of gets my mind off my daily job. But I tell you what, if you're serious about like starting a channel, I can give you all the ins and outs, and you can avoid it. You know, all the kind of pitfalls I fell into because I was learning it as I went. So yeah, if you really want to do that, shoot me an email, and with your email address, say, "Hey, it's Laura," and then I'll start we'll start walking it through with you. But yeah, you can start out slow. I mean, even like I'm not sure if you ever watched Sticks and Hammer. He does. He's on Early for Us.
Oh yeah, I watch him every day.
Okay,
yeah.
If you notice, all he does, he has like an iPhone or a smartphone and a microphone. I mean, he has a microphone hooked up to it that you probably don't see, and he just talks into his phone and then records it and then puts it up on YouTube. That's not hard to do. I mean, it's very YouTube makes it very simple. And I can show you I can walk you through that. And if you just want to start out doing that, that's something you can do. And then if you want to get into the production stuff, that's fun. It's kind of fun. It's goofy to learn. And I can walk you through that too. But at first, Six Number's got like 300 and something thousand subscribers. And it's pretty much him standing in front of his phone. So you don't have to get really complicated to actually do a good job doing this.
Well, the thing is that I did do a couple and uploaded them someplace, and but when I recorded it, I was like horrified at how I sounded, horrified at how I looked, and yada yada. And I go, oh, I can't do this. So.
Yeah,
I'm actually amazed that I had the courage to pick up the phone and call you, Carl. But anyway,
I'm so happy you did. But yeah, shoot me an email and I can walk you through as far as the sounds and stuff. And I learned a lot about that. So, but anyway, hey, thank you, Laura, for calling in. Excellent call. I'm so glad you found the courage. Next time we'll do a video call. Okay.
Okay, I promise.
Excellent.
All right, Carl. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, Laura. Bye-bye. And that was a great Laura Sanders, and excellent phone call. And I'm glad she got the courage. And yeah, I mean, it's like I was saying, it's like, people like, Laura and Axe, they're still liberals. It's just that the left are trying to own the phrase liberals. Well, they're not liberals. They're not liberals at all. These are leftists. Liberals aren't in favor of socialism. Liberals aren't in favor of tyranny of the majority. Liberals have always been for classical liberalism. Always been about individual rights and individual liberties. I mean, so the left is antithetical. The views they have are antithetical to liberalism. So don't let anybody fool you and tell you, oh, like, Kamala Harris is a liberal, or Ocasio-Cortez is a liberal, or even Joe Biden, he's going left, or Elizabeth Warren, she's not a liberal, she's far left. Anytime you talk about redistributing wealth from one group of people to give to another group of people based on some past horrors from 150 years ago. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not liberalism. I mean, there's nothing liberal about that. That's leftist. The unions, the union workers, Democrats don't support them. When Trump said I'm bringing back manufacturing jobs, they laughed at him like, "Oh, that's funny." Well, it's nothing funny if you're living like in goddamn Wisconsin or something. Oh, now I blaspheme. Great. It's not funny for you if your house is getting foreclosed on because you don't have a job, or the factory you're working at shut down, you can't find work. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about telling your kids that you have to move to another state and leave your friends and your family behind because, mom and dad can't get work here. There's nothing funny about that. And they don't care. The Democrats don't care. Obviously, you said, oh, like Obama, oh, what's he going to do, wave a magic wand to bring the manufacturing jobs back? Look, President Obama was a very smart guy. It's just that he used his genius for evil instead of for good. He wanted to take this country down. And hey, hate to tell you this, but as far as he was concerned about black Americans, they were collateral damage. Okay? People of color, they were collateral damage for him. Black Americans were collateral damage. He wanted to take this country down. That was his big goal. And he was succeeding at it. He was doing a really good job at it. Because what, you think Trump just invented how to pick the economy back up? You think these are all of his ideas? No, these ideas have been on the books for decades, for centuries. We reduce taxes on businesses, decrease regulations. That's not like nuclear science. That's just straight up. I mean that's just common sense. He could have done it, but he chose not to. He intentionally chose to strangle this economy. There are more African Americans on Sean Hannity has all these stats. More African Americans on food stamps at the end of his administration, President Obama's administration, than at the beginning. More African Americans on Section 8 housing at the end of his administration than in the beginning. Lowest rate of African American home ownership in history. Okay, nothing to do to decrease the poverty rate among black Americans. Unemployment might have gone down among black Americans, but remember, under President Obama, 68% of the jobs he created were known as living wage jobs. That's enough money to put a roof over your head, not to buy a house, to rent a place, maybe an apartment, maybe a crappy apartment, to eat some crappy ass food, okay, and also probably to be on some kind of public assistance at the same time. Those are the jobs he created, living wage jobs, 68% of them, okay? Just enough, not even to buy new clothes or new shoes. Definitely not to go out, take your family out to dinner, not to have any kind of enjoyment or quality time with them. Probably can't get DirecTV or cable. None of that. Okay, just enough to, subsistence living. That was the jobs he created. And he didn't care, and black Americans, he didn't identify with them. He identified he was from Africa. That's what he identified. He wasn't from Africa, but his father was. So he identified with his father. His father was African. That's who he identified with. It's in his book. I'm not making this up. You just read his book. Dreams from my father. Not dreams of my father, dreams from my father. He understood English language very well. He understood the difference between using the word of and the word from. Okay? He identified with Africans, not with African Americans. And they were just collateral damage for him. He made their life more miserable than when he took office. And he made the working class and middle class Americans all the way across the board, regardless of ethnicity, more miserable. And he didn't care. We got a president here right now who does care. For whatever reason, this billionaire cares about working class people, middle class people, Maybe it's billionaire guilt. Maybe he's got billionaire guilt. He's a billionaire. And he feels bad about the people down below. People who he knows helped make his father and his grandfather rich, who helped make him rich. The guys who actually drive the trucks, build the buildings, the construction workers, the tin knockers, the iron workers, the carpenters, the plumbers, the pipe fitters, all those guys who helped make him wealthy. And he wants to help them. He wants to help us, working and middle-class Americans. That's what he wants to do, and that's what he's doing. And anybody who's disappointed with him, the Ann Coulters of the world, the Ben Shapiros of the world, hey, screw you, okay? Oh, he's not doing enough. He's not a dictator. Oh, he's not. Okay, you know what? What's the alternative? What's the alternative, Ann Coulter? What? What are you going to do? Okay? What's your alternative? That he's not doing it your way? Well, you know what? What office have you ever been elected to? How about none? There's a reason for that. You think you're so smart? You run for office. See how good you do. We have a constitution in this country. It's kept this country intact for 230 years. 230 years this country's been intact because of our constitution and our Bill of Rights. Okay? And the process these founding fathers put in place to keep this country from changing too radically at any given time. The checks and balances they put in between the legislature and the executive branch and the judicial branch. Okay, all these things make government move slowly. And it's frustrating. I understand if you want change, you need something changed quickly. Sorry. You generally have to wait about 8 years. Okay? Sometimes 4, but generally you have to wait about 8. Okay? And that's just the way it goes. If you don't like it, move somewhere where things move fast. Move to Venezuela. Move to South America. Move to Africa. If you like a nice dictatorship, move to China. They'll take you in. If you got some kind of skills and some money, you can go there. Otherwise, you know what? Shut up. Okay? So, we got a great president. We need to get out and vote for him. We don't need to do any kind of stupid primary challenge or anything dumb like that. We need to stand behind him. And all these guys these 12 Republicans, I'll take Rand Paul out of that mix, like I said the other night. Rand Paul always votes against executive power. Rand Paul's a libertarian. He hates executive power. He hates it. He just does. He hates the executive branch. That's fine. That's his philosophy, and he has a philosophy to back that up. He just doesn't hate it. He has a philosophy to back that up. But the other 11 Republicans who voted in favor of the resolution to terminate the national emergency, sorry, Romney and all those clowns, screw them, okay? And they forget why the Republicans held on to the Senate in 2016. Remember, Republicans were supposed to lose the House and the Senate in 2016. There's only one reason why they did it: Donald Trump. That's it. That's the only reason why they didn't lose the House, and the only reason why they didn't lose the Senate, because of Donald Trump. Otherwise, they were expected to lose both. They were going to lose the White House. You would have nominated Jeb Bush or Rick Scott or Ted Cruz or whoever who was on that stage. They would have lost to the Clinton machine. There's only one man who could have beat the Clinton machine. Well, actually, two actually did it. Senator Obama beat the Clinton machine in 2008, and Donald Trump beat the Clinton machine in 2016. It's one thing those two men have in common. They both beat the Clinton machine. They both, well, I won't use the word what they did to her, but they both did the same thing. So anyway, man, I find amusing. That I find amusing. Yeah, great douchebag. You want to call in? Go right ahead, man. Here, I know I got a delay here on when I say something and you write something, so latency kind of thing. Right. Let's see. Yeah, call in. Dunk. There we go. Yeah, it's with the internet service I have, instead of doing a low latency, where it means like it's real responsive, real quick, where the chat is real quick with what I'm saying, it's I have it on normal latency because of internet bandwidth I have, issues I have with that. So I have to kind of keep an eye on that. So yeah, so it kind of keeps me in check here. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, let's see, how are we looking on this around here? Oh, that's not bad. Oh, that's doing good. Doing good. Doing good in the neighborhood. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, no problem, man. You got it. Give me a chance to light a cigarette. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The truth is out there. Let's see what time you right. The truth is out there. One just has to look for it. Yes, I agree. And like I was telling Laura that uh, basically that's why they want to shut down a lot of conservative sites because they want us to think that they want you to think you're all alone. You're the only one who thinks that way. You should jump on board and think the way they think, and then you'll feel sane. You know, it's like the story with somebody put this crazy poison in the well, and everybody drank from it and became crazy, except for the king. And then everybody thought the king was crazy because he wasn't acting like them. And then so what eventually happened, the king ended up drinking from the well. So they said, "Oh yay, we got our king back. He's crazy like us." That's what they want for us. Oh, Mr. Douchebag, Mr. Douchebag, how you doing there, Mr. Douchebag?
What is up, Carl? How you doing? How is everything?
Good. How about you, man? How are you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. I didn't know how much longer you were going to be on. I didn't know if you had to wrap up the show or anything. That's why I didn't want to call right away.
No, I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm good.
To Laura talk.
Yeah, that was good hearing. That was definitely good from hearing from Laura. That was definitely really, really nice. That was excellent.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, did you ever? I'm sorry, not to. I know I've asked this quite a bit, but did you ever check out Forbidden Information in Chrissy Ann's channels? They, Carl, the reason why I'm trying to help like some of these up and coming YouTubers is because with 2020 fast approaching, we all got to kind of rally together. You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't. I haven't. You know what? I've been so busy. Have you noticed? I haven't done any live streaming since Monday. I've been really busy this week, so I wasn't able to really do much on YouTube or
yeah. No, it's all good. But I just want to let everybody in the chat room know before I started talking what I was talking about to everyone in the chat room to know to subscribe to Forbidden Information and Chrissy Ann, KIRSIANN is how you find her on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they're great up and coming YouTubers. But anyway, Carl. So what's interesting, Carl? I was listening to how you were talking about the Democrats, right? And if you notice their tactics, like they want 16-year-olds to vote, they want illegals to vote, they want to change the electoral college. You know what this is all coming from? It's based on study that their own people are doing that, and the people who are doing the studies for them are sounding the alarm that, hey, Trump has got a damn good chance of winning, excuse my language, I'm sorry, a very good chance of winning re-election 2020. But I mean, look at how desperate these big tactics are. And it's based on some kind of studies that they have done. It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want people to buy a rifle until they're 18, but you want 16-year-olds to vote? Really?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, right? You can't own a gun. They want to make it so you can't own a gun till you're 21. You can't drink till you're 21 because they say you're not responsible enough. But you're responsible enough at the age of 16 to determine the fate of this country. I mean, that is so hypocritical. It's so bullshit. It's unreal. I mean, we can't let you buy alcohol until you're 21 because you're not responsible. But you're responsible to determine like the fate of a city council election, a state assembly election, where small votes count, county commissioners, and maybe even turning. Remember Florida, 562 votes in Florida was the difference between Bush and Gore. So 562 16-year-olds would have changed that election result for the entire country. Yeah, I mean, these people I mean, literally, when she came out and said that, I thought, this woman really has lost it. She's really crazy to even suggest something stupid like that.
Yeah. I mean, they just don't, they're out of gas,
Yeah,
but
they are.
That doesn't mean that we get complacent. We can't, I mean, like I said, I've been, going out there, I've been trying to talk to people, but like how I was saying, the way I talk to people, like I don't just walk up and ask them their political issues. I kind of, hey, do you like to hunt? Do you like to, do you like hunting? Do you like competitive shooting? And if they do, but then they have left-leaning views, you can generally tell that they may have some conservative views, I mean, especially if they own a gun, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how you can kind of read people right there. Carl, I'm not a college-educated guy, but one thing I've always known how to do is be street smart. You know what I'm saying? Know how to talk to people. Know how to, and I don't lie to people. I just find the words to, be able to get through to people. Because you can get through to people using the right words and still not lie to them at the same time. It just depends on how you word things. I mean, you're not really lying to anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No. I mean, it's always good to, you want to walk with people, establish some kind of common ground with them, see where they're at and stuff, and see if you could, maybe persuade them or something. And some people you can, some people you can't. But I mean, it used to be. I mean, look, before Trump got elected, it used to be you could have reasonable conversations with people and reasonably disagree with people without being disagreeable. But that all changed in the 2016 campaign. It changed in the campaign, and then it's been miserable ever since. Mainstream media, of course, loves it. They play it up. They try to cause division amongst us more than any. I've never seen it like this before. The Democrats are trying to cause division amongst us like nobody's business. I mean, they just divide, and it's hurting this country. I mean, it's really tearing this country apart. I mean, we've had 52, 48, 51, 49 elections in the past. Bill Clinton in 92 won with 43% of the vote because Ross Perot was in. We've had close elections and stuff, but I've never seen in my lifetime, since I would say even the early 70s, the country is so much at odds with each other where you can't even have a conversation with someone on the other side of an issue from you. You can't even have a calm, sober discussion with people anymore. It's just like people just go ballistic. I mean, and it's the people on the left, like Tim Cast. I don't know if you ever watch him, but like Tim Pool, he, he's saying like, he's a liberal, and he says if I want to have a debate, I generally have to debate like a conservative, because if I try debating another like leftist, they go ballistic. They don't want to have a debate. They just go start calling you names.
Well, he's a classical liberal,
yeah.
Tim Pool has adopted the more classical liberal stance.
Well, that's right. He's always been like that, and then like I was telling Laura, you guys are still liberals. It's just that these people who say they're liberals aren't. These are leftists.
Yeah.
And if you're a liberal, you have to vote for the conservative if you want, because the conservative is pretty much, Donald Trump was always a liberal his whole life. He's pretty much he's pretty much like a corporate liberal, a fiscal conservative liberal. I mean, that kind of guy. He adopted social conservative views, like on abortion and stuff. But pretty much he's just he's a center right president, and he's governing center right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but see the way the Democrats are acting. See, it's that stranglehold these globalists have on the Democrat Party. Like the Soros and we're talking about the mega donors. I'm not talking about the millionaire donors. We're talking about the mega donors like Soros and Steyer, and the people behind Soros and Steyer. Who have a drastic stranglehold on this Democrat Party. They won't let them run on anything else. See, they think that their base. The funny thing is because they think that they're, what they're gambling on. These globalists are gambling that enough millennials and I'll just say millennials are registering to vote that it could overtake the conservative rural voter and conservative voter in 2020, and they don't take into account the walkaway movement. They don't take into account people who are, waking up. I'm not trying to sound overconfident, but these things are happening. The question is, how fast is it happening?
Right. Well, they definitely don't want to report on all those things. I mean, walkaway movement never trended on Twitter, even though it was getting all kinds of hits and everything. They purposely suppressed that. YouTube suppressed it. I mean, just they don't want to report on these movements because they don't want other people to know. Hey, maybe I should walk away. That the last thing they want. But they'll report on stuff like millennials are coming out and Beto's on a skateboard and stupid shit like that.
Beto's an idiot. No, let's call him Robert. Because he's not Hispanic. He's like what, Irish and.
Yeah, I think his name is Robert or James Francis O'Rourke. Or
Robert Francis O'Rourke.
Robert Francis O'Rourke. One of those.
He looks like he went to the Obama School of Fashion or something. He idolizes Obama, and it's like, what's funny? If you look at things like Fox News, right? A lot of people, Fox News is probably, except for the exception of Tucker and maybe Hannity, I think Fox News is going to start going left now because I think Murdoch's sons are starting to take over a little bit.
Right.
They're liberal as hell. But you know what? That's only going to help Blaze TV, and that's only going to help One America News. Because One America News, I don't think is part of the establishment mainstream. You know, I don't think they are. I mean, they're pro-Trump. They're, I think they reached like 40 million homes, I think. They're not on Comcast, but I know they're on cable and satellite. But, you know, like shows like The Tipping Point and The Daily Ledger, you know, like Tipping Point, Liz Wheeler, she's awesome. I mean, you know, she's still learning, but, she's like a young Judge Jeanine Pirro. You know, she literally hammers the left all the time. I mean, you know, Liz Wheeler's fantastic. I mean, thank God she's on our side. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I watched her a few times. Like I said, I have the app on. Layla was bringing it up last time. I have the app on my phone. I don't have the time to watch as much as I like to. But yeah, no, I mean, I've watched that new show a few times, and that's where what's his name's movie was aired on that network. That's how I found that network to begin with. Steve Bannon's movie was aired on that network. Remember the movie came out right before 2018.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
what was it?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It was a really good movie though.
Dinesh D'Souza made a really good one too. You know, with Trump and Abraham Lincoln in the front cover. And I heard that woke up a lot of people.
Death of a Nation. That was good, but it wasn't as good as Obama, America, and also the Clinton movie he did. Those two.
Oh, yeah.
Death of a Nation was a good movie, but not nearly as good as those two prior movies he did. The two prior ones he did were just, wow, they were awesome.
You know what's interesting? About the Clintons is that the Mercers. I've read, when I mentioned the Mercers. I saw a documentary, but this I did not know about the Mercers, and I saw this on YouTube. I guess the Mercers do not like the Clintons very much. I don't know what the reason is for, but I guess they don't like the Clintons very much. But what I find interesting is that any news that Mercer seems to make, it's like he's just there behind the scenes. The whole family's behind the scenes, and they're very pro-Trump, and they're very, it kind of makes you wonder. And like I said, I know I've talked about this before, but we have to acknowledge that there are people on our side with money,
Right.
And it kind of makes you think, what are the Mercers up to? What are they behind? But I tell you what, and I know I've said this many times, whatever they have planned is got to be better than what Soros and the radical left have planned, because the Mercers' plan seems to identify with having borders, having jobs, and us being a freaking capitalist nation like we're supposed to be,
Right. A capitalist nation with a respect for individual rights and individual liberties. I mean, look, hey, it's worked for 230 years, okay? And again, that's longer than any other Western democracy. We have the oldest form of government. The French are like, I think, they have to go. They don't come close. That's the next one closest, and then the British. But 230 years, they set up a great system. These old guys wearing wigs set up a great system of government that provides for slow change and provides for the ability to change, the ability to amend the Constitution. But it takes a few minutes to do it, and you got to have the votes, and you got to really have a good, strong reason to do it. So I mean, it's not broken. It doesn't need to be fixed. You lose an election here and there, get over it. Okay, you lose an election because you're not talking to the bulk of the country. The bulk of the country is middle class, working class America. That's who it's always been, and they've always been center right or center left. And if your views are far left or far right, you're not going to appeal to them, and you're going to lose elections. Ask Barry Goldwater in '64. Ask how much fun that was for him. Okay, I mean, that's just the way it goes. If you want to win elections, you have to. If you're in a representative democracy, Republican democracy, which means you're representing the people, and the people are center right or center left, and you're far right or far left, guess what? You're going to lose. That's it. Sorry, it's not brain surgery. It's just math.
Well, see, Biden right now, but you would think Biden would be condemning some of the actions of these progressive leftist Democrats. But the fact that he's just silent and not saying anything, he doesn't. I don't know if he knows or not, but it's going to hurt his chances of, swaying middle class voters.
Look, you know what he's busy doing, and this is why I like Trump so much.
Yeah,
he's doing what Trump never did. He's focus grouping all these issues. He's seeing how much pull they have. He's seeing that if he comes out against it, will he be able to still win the nomination? Because you can't run in the general if you don't win the nomination. You got to get past that radical left primary voter in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So he's trying to see.
I don't
Okay,
even think he's going to make it out of the primary.
well, if he campaigns to win the general, you're right, he won't. Because he'll have to come out and say the Green New Deal. Look, man, that's crazy. We're not doing that. And reparations.
Yeah.
No, you people are insane. We're not doing reparations. And or Medicare or free college tuition. No, man, that's just insane. We can't afford all this stuff. That's crazy. Now that could be a winning group of lines for the general election. But I agree with you. If he comes out like that, he's not going to get past. I mean, he'll get the corporate Democrats. He'll get the money. He'll get the donors. But the Democratic primary candidates, and they're going to kill him on that debate stage. I mean, they'll just rip him upside down one side or the other. So if he,
I think CNN
oh yeah, CNN, MSNBC, they'll tear into him.
No, yeah, I know, but I mean, but they'll also, like, with the progressive candidates, they're going to water it down to where they ask them questions where they avoid how you're going to pay for this, but I don't see how they can avoid a question like that, because basically you're going to have one, it's going to be funny to watch, not funny, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch these progressive candidates debate other progressive candidates, and they're playing right into Trump's hands. I mean, this is another thing that, because I think what Trump is trying to do one of a few things. Trump is either trying to steer the Democrats back to what they were before. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's also trying, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like he's got multiple tactics and things going on at one time, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to steer the Democrats back into like being for the working class, being for, and maybe trying to bring back some of those blue dog Democrats. I mean,
right.
I don't see how any right now. I don't see how any Democrat could be good, but if they can maybe show us through action instead of condemning in words, maybe they may win back some of those votes and stick to what they say.
Right.
But see, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean,
when I watch Grace.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. They've gone so far left already. I can't see how they can pivot back at this point because they're going to alienate their base, who they've been making all these great promises to. And they got a lot of people excited about a lot of the things they're making promises on. And if they just suddenly, if they get to the general, they get past that convention, and they say, well, we really can't do that. They end up in a debate with Trump. And the issues come up about some of the crazy shit they said to win the primary, and then they start trying to backpedal on that. That base is going to go, what? You sold us out. Oh, you played us for fools. Oh, we're staying home. See you later. Bye. And so I don't know how they pivot back for the general. To be honest, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Some of these, what's interesting is that some of the more center left are starting to question, why did they pass a bill allowing illegals to vote, but not pass a bill for a Medicare for all? Because let's say this is re-election in 2020. Well, they know that Trump ain't going to sign no Medicare for all bill. So what they could do is they could go back in and reintroduce that bill to a progressive candidate who won the presidency. But there are some center left who understand this, and they're starting to question, why are they not doing this? And it's good. I think it's good because they're waking up a little bit. What's interesting, and something else media doesn't talk about, is that a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters are now Trump supporters. Because when they saw how, those are probably more the center left, not the far left, but the center left,
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy we watch, Axel was a Bernie supporter. Now he's a Trump supporter. And a lot of people just like him. A lot of people just like him. Yeah, totally.
But Axe never really struck me as like far left. I mean, he always struck me as like center left to maybe, because, he had always talked about he liked to shoot. And most people that are center left, it's not surprising to hear that they might be donors of the NRA or NRA members, because they
well, you got to remember one of the things that hurt Bernie in the primaries in 16 was the fact that he wouldn't come out big time in favor of gun control. because
Yeah.
Bernie was never Bernie's from Vermont. Well, he's from New York, but I mean, he represented Vermont, and he was always kind of like against big gun control stuff. And then he had to come out and backpedal and apologize and all this other shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know, Bernie was looking at working class, and a lot of working class people own guns. So the far left really got on his ass about that, though.
Yeah. Bernie Sanders would have destroyed this. I mean, let's say if I had to choose between a Hillary and a Bernie, okay, yeah, Bernie probably would have been a better choice. The fact that he was maybe not necessarily an open borders guy, but he still would have drugged this country down the toilet with all these socialist policies, But I don't think he would have opened the borders like Clinton would have done, But, I guess maybe he thought that if he got into the presidential power, that it would make him in a better position to take on the 1%. The only thing is, I don't think Bernie knew how to fight the 1%, at least not in a way that we would have wanted him to, I mean, some of these people think that, well, we're going to tax the billionaires and then they won't have any more money to cause trouble. That is the most stupid, ignorant, retarded statement I've ever heard anybody say, but I've heard people say it. Nobody understands trickle-down economics. A rich person invests in a company. That creates jobs. You need the jobs. You got to have people working in the jobs, like in the restaurants, and then you need people to deliver the material. Then you need people to make the equipment. Then you got to have people deliver the materials to make the equipment. You know what I'm saying? It is so simple. And these progressives just don't understand.
No, they don't. I mean, they live in these cities, and again, there's no farms in these cities. There's no oil fields in these cities. I mean, there's no clothing. There's no cotton being grown to make clothes. They don't realize how all these goods and services get to them. And the guys, they don't, when they move into the building, they didn't see it getting built. So they don't see all the construction workers who actually built it, who don't live anywhere near that city, who commute an hour and a half, 2 hours each way to get to work in the morning to build that building for them. They don't see all that.
Yeah.
They just see a finished product. They go, oh, this is great. They might see the designer and they go, oh yeah, that's who built the building. Well, no, that guy just did the drapes. I mean, he didn't. That air conditioning when you push the button, well, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of ductwork above that sheetrock that you can't see. And by the way, that is sheetrock above you. And somebody, had to put some framing studs in there and drill and screw that sheetrock up to those studs. Okay, so I mean, they have no concept whatsoever of all the things that regular people in this country do for them. And they could care less about them. To them, we're just deplorables. We hang on to our guns and our Bibles and whatever, but that's who this country is. That's who this country's always been. And we've always had rich people. We've always had elitist snobs, but they weren't always like calling all the shots at least. And now they just want to silence. And the worst thing is now they want to silence us. Now they don't even like put up or tolerate us anymore. Now, before they used to pretend, they don't even pretend anymore. They just say, no, you people should just shut up. I mean, they literally come out and say it. Just shut up. And listen to us. It's like, oh, so Laura, it is crazy. Laura goes, this is crazy. I go, no, it is. You're right.
You ask a progressive if they feel that civil war is brewing, right? And they're like, no. Why would there be civil war? Well, maybe you ought to look at some of the policies that you people are pushing. And really, the only thing that I've noticed that the right, like the center right, have a problem with it is the left, are two things, because it gets brought up in every conversation I've ever had with somebody who's center right. Open borders and socialism. Those are like the only two things. Those are the two major things that people on the right have with the left. And because I mean, most of the right can tolerate the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of friends that are LGBT, and that's fine. They're still my friends. They're awesome. I've known them for a long time. You know what I mean? But, but some of them, like I was telling about one of my friends, she was in the military for a long time, and she knows what it's like. And she voted for Trump, and she's planning to vote for Trump again because she likes having extra money in her pocket. You know?
It's called disposable income. You know, it's what people
Yeah,
always had. You know, what the middle class
yeah,
always had. Middle class always had disposable income. You take your family on vacation. You maybe buy
yeah,
some, new bedroom furniture. You know, maybe you can
yeah,
like sell your house and buy a new house, a bigger house for your family that's
yeah,
growing. Maybe you can buy a second car. You know, I mean,
yeah.
it's called disposable income. The middle class always had that, and now they don't have it like they used to, and now they're starting to get it back. And now here come the Democrats ready to come in, pounce all over that, and take it away from people. And hopefully people wake
Yeah.
up and realize, hey, we don't want it taken away from us. And if we vote for these morons, they're going to take it all away from us and hand it off to who knows who or to do who knows what with it.
Yeah, yeah. See, the globalists, they have made so many mistakes. They have made so many mistakes. And now that, you know what they're doing now, and I was watching it on Fox Business today, they have, they're having problems selling high-end homes now, you know. And it's like, gee, the Federal Reserve would love to, is having a hard time trying to crash the economy. And they're looking at any sector they can find to try and raise interest rates on so they can, but it's like, people are a lot more awake now than they were 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 2008.
Right.
I mean, they people, I mean, like like we said before, very few people know this. Well, I won't say very few. I think a lot of people know the Federal Reserve is the 1%. They collude with the globalists to try and, screw with, things around the world, like the Open Society Foundation, I mean, all these people have ties one way or another, and in China were, I think now they're trying to bring, these globalists are now working with China to try and undermine our freedoms,
Right.
I mean, China's been stealing our tech and information for years,
Yeah, ever since we let them in. Well, see, the deal they thought was, okay, if we let China in and they start, really developing free market economies, they'll become a freer nation and they'll be less threatening to their neighbors, including us. Well, just the opposite. They used all the money they made and stole to build up their military and to suppress their people even more. So whoever had that strategy in the George H.W. Bush administration, boy, they sure missed that. And Clinton followed right along with it, and George W. Bush followed right along with it, and Barack Obama followed right along with it. And this guy finally said, after 25, 26 years, we're putting a stop to it right now. And this has been 26 years, numerous administrations, Republican and Democrat, and have just screwed us over with China to the point of a 500. I mean, nobody noticed that before. $500 billion trade deficit with one country. Nobody said, "Hey, maybe that's not a good idea." I think the worst we ever had with Mexico was what 100 billion. I think with Mexico, I think that's the highest it ever got.
Yeah.
And we had 500 billion year after year with China. Nobody said, "Hey, that could be a problem."
I think Trump worked in the tariffs with the trade deals, didn't he, with Mexico and Canada? I think he did. No, they left Canada out of it. Justin Trudeau's such a soy boy. I can't stand him.
Well, basically,
like
Canada decided to play the "we're going to disrespect Donald Trump" card. Well, the Mexicans saw that and they said, "Oh, we're going to jump on this now." He's pissed off at Canada. We're going to jump in, and I think that Mexican trade representative was in the White House like some crazy number. I heard it was like 80 times he visited the White House, and then he had dinner. Him and his wife had dinner with Jared Kushner and Ivanka like several times at their house. I mean, the Mexicans just worked it really good, and they got a great deal out of it, which was a great deal for us. And meanwhile, so they get that deal done first, and they said, okay, we'll bring the Canadians in now. And the Canadians got the shaft. I mean, Trudeau was having to explain to his farmers why they got the shaft. And trust me, it wasn't good. But Trump said, "Hey, look, I already got my deal with Mexico. I don't need a deal with you. So here's the new terms. Take it or leave it." And he had to take it. He took it right up the ass, actually. I mean, no, he got screwed because he thought he was going to play Trump. Well, he's an idiot. And Krista Freeland, who was his I forgot her position or what cabinet position she holds, but she's like in charge of the trade issues. Yeah, and she was she was banned from the White House because while she was in Thailand, she decided to badmouth the president publicly. So they said, okay, well, you're not coming back to the White House. Every time she came to D.C., she had to meet outside of the White House. She couldn't go in. Yeah, imagine that. So, but I tell you what, man, hey, it's 11:08. I've been on for a little over 3 hours. 11:08 my time, so I'm probably gonna call it
Okay.
a night for tonight. But man, I'm glad you finally
All
called
right.
in. I was wondering where you were there for a
Oh yeah, no,
while.
I didn't wanna. No, Laura was doing awesome. You know, she,
Oh
you
no
know,
no. I mean
it's always good
I
to
mean
hear
I
other callers. You
no
know.
no no. I mean I didn't see you in the chat till right before right near the end of Laura's phone call. I didn't see you in the chat. I'm like, oh, where the hell's
Hmm.
douchebag tonight?
Yeah.
But I guess I
Yeah,
figured
I
I
was
figured
on.
you're out trolling. I figured you're out trolling people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm all day making comments and oh yeah. You know what's funny, Carl? Can I say one thing before I
Yeah,
go?
go
Is that
ahead, man.
okay? I mean,
Sure.
I don't want
Yeah,
to. Okay.
no, go ahead.
You know what's funny? And you know what's funny? These trolls, they're listening to us. They know this. I wonder what they're going to do for a job. These paid trolls. I wonder what they're going to do for a job when Soros and them no longer need them. I mean, what are they going to put on the job resume? I trolled and harassed conservative channels. You know. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Well,
a
yeah.
heck
I
of a
mean
thing to put on a job
yeah. It's
resume.
not really that's not really a good job keeper there. That's not it's not really good for your resume. I was a troll. It's like,
Nope.
oh, okay, you know. But all right, man.
You
Hey,
know.
tell you what, man. Have a
Oh yeah.
great night, and I'll definitely see you the
All right.
next
You
time I
too.
come on. All right, man. Have a good one.
Oh yeah. All right. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
All right.
And of course, that was a great douchebag, the great douchebag. Always a great phone call with Mr. Douchebag. And I am gonna call it a night for tonight. I do want to thank everybody who called in and everybody who participated in the chat. And I had a really great time again. And I just want to say thanks. And to all those people who will be viewing later, thank you so much. If you like the video, please hit the like. And if you like it a lot, then hit the subscribe button. So anyway, guys, have a great night. And this is Carl for Carl's Opinions signing off. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.